Wouldn't that be so funny? The first time we're going to do
I would die.
a video,
Of
we just
course
don't
it
record
would be.
anything.
Completely forget.
Okay. All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hello, and welcome to Spooky Sips, where we put our love of horror movies into a podcast and sip some spirits along the way. I'm one of your hosts, here with my co-hosts, Laura and Brianna.
Hello.
Hey. Okay, so unless you have been living under an actual rock, you have heard of the movie that we watched this time, The Substance. It just came out last year, lots of awards, it was all over the place, essentially. So the movie centers around Elizabeth Sparkle, who is just turning 50, and she's not feeling very good about herself. In fact, she's going to lose her job. She's a star. And so she's just, she doesn't know what to do with herself. And she comes across this thing called the substance.
Mm-hmm.
Do, 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 do. And there we go. That's it. That's the movie.
Yeah. So did you guys watch this when it came out, or did you just watch it?
No,
Just
I
watched
just
it.
watched it.
So did I.
I had not watched it.
Like I heard so much about it, but for
I
some reason
know.
I feel like it just didn't, I just didn't get to it.
Yep. Same.
Well, and I feel like I had so many people telling me to watch it because apparently they were saying Demi Moore is just amazing in it. And
she finally won it wasn't an Oscar that she won?
she was
I think so,
nominated.
yeah. Or
but
nominated.
Oh, I
didn't
thought
win.
she won.
I think
A young girl did, which is like so fitting.
yeah, was it for Anora
Yeah.
movie? I think, yeah. Maybe?
Okay. Well, she was nominated. And she
Yeah.
should have won. But that is kind of fitting.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but that's
Right.
That's what I think happened.
I think so, yeah. I think she
Yeah.
was nominated.
Yeah.
So the movie opens with an
An
egg. It's
Yeah.
a very
Oh,
blue
yes.
background and like a clear egg. The yolk is yellow, but like the egg is clear.
Mm-hmm.
And a syringe comes in with this like neon substance and injects itself. And then slowly a little egg
Yeah, you just see a little
creating itself
Duplicate.
pops out of the other yolk.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of thoughts about this movie, some good, some not good. But one of the things I really liked, I thought it did well, is I liked some of the shots. They were just like very still or shot from above or below.
Yes.
The angles were unique. And I thought it started out with that. Even just that shot of the egg is just this from above, very still, just you just see the egg.
Yeah.
And so I liked some of the shooting of this movie.
Cinematography.
Oh, yeah. No, like I feel like this movie had a lot of style.
Yeah.
Like it just, the cinematography was really interesting. You can tell they thought about the shots and like how they were going to frame them and how like it was very like artistic too, I think.
And I feel like it had a very like distinct feel to it. Like you said, style. It had its own style.
Yeah. And just to throw it in there, because I can't help myself, but I actually feel this way. It was a good example of style over substance.
Oh, I know. I know.
Style over what?
Substance.
Okay, these martinis are hitting already.
Oh God, we just started.
Yeah, let's just start the episode off with what we're sipping on because we're here. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Laura, you helped us decide what to sip on tonight.
Yeah, so we don't always do exactly what they drink in the movie, but there was a scene where Elizabeth Sparkle, who is played by Demi Moore, she, after a particularly rough birthday, which we'll talk about, it's a terrible birthday, gets fired, it's just all awful. So she just decides to go to the bar, and we just see lined up, it's like, I think 4 martini glasses. And she's a small woman, so just quickly drinking 4 martinis is probably not ideal, and just gets very drunk. But in honor of that, I'm not doing 4, but I am doing 2 martinis.
Yes, you are.
Combined, we have 4 martinis.
Combined, we have 4. Yes.
And in full disclosure, I'm drinking water with 2 olives in it from a martini glass because I also am displaying style over substance.
Now, are you actually drinking the water, and is that gross?
No, I haven't, but
take a sip.
Yeah, try it.
Oh, it almost just tastes like water, actually.
Okay.
Oh, that makes sense.
So, I didn't actually put olive juice in. I just put olives. I will be eating the olives later, though. So,
yeah.
Yes. For sure.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of martinis. Like it's just not my cup of tea.
I
A
like
dirty.
I like them occasionally. Well, I first made mine not dirty. I just did a tiny little splash and I couldn't do it. So then I added more olive juice. So mine are kind of green.
Because it really is just gin and vermouth or
It
vodka and
is.
vermouth. Like
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
it's not good.
Oh yeah,
No.
did you go vodka or gin, Yvette?
I did botanical gin because that's the only way I can drink it.
I like
Um,
botanical gin.
Yeah, I feel like the botanical gin freshens it up a bit, and then with the
Mhm.
lemon zest, I feel like it's like just
Botanical,
barely drinkable.
yeah, botanical gin is delicious, but not
Mm-hmm.
with olives because
No,
those
Mm-mm.
flavors clash.
we did try that once.
Yeah.
No, go with the
Mhm.
lime or
Yep.
lemon.
It's
Mhm.
You're
good
gonna do
with
that.
like as a gin and tonic.
Yes,
It's good in
so
that.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mhm,
good.
mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. Well, I won't
I
be able to hide it very long.
yeah.
I was not a fan. In fact, I sent Laura a message about halfway through and I was like, no, why am I here? No, I was not a fan. But we're going to get into it anyways.
Yeah.
I'm
There
kind of
were
surprised.
parts of it that I thought were really good, and there were things about it that were good.
I had
Parts that were
one
terrible.
I had
Yeah.
one like 30-second scene that I liked.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I wonder if it's the same scene that I like.
I
I feel
hope.
like there was one where it's like, okay, yeah, this one's good.
There was a few I liked, including the next scene. So after the
Yes.
egg,
True.
I really liked where they show this brand new shiny creation of a Hollywood star on the sidewalk. Is it
Mm-hmm.
what's that theater called? It starts with a G.
The
Something.
Oh, isn't it?
oh my
It's a
God. You
it's a
got me
theater
been
where all
there.
the stars are
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
where the
What is it? I
Hollywood.
think it starts with a G, right?
Yeah, what is it? Hold on.
It's Grauman's.
Oh,
Oh,
I would
okay,
have
yes.
never guessed
No,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would have never guessed that.
Have either of you ever been?
Uh-uh.
To
I-
the walk?
The
Yes.
Grauman's, yeah.
Mhm.
I've
Yeah.
been. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it's kind of like you can
It's
look for a few of your
touristy.
favorite stars and
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
Mhm.
There you go. But
Mhm.
Is
anyway,
that the
so
same place as the handprints? Is it stars and handprints?
oh,
Or is it
Do
just
some of them do both?
I don't know. I don't know, guys.
we are on it tonight.
You know what though? Okay, you guys, if you're listening and you just listened to our Donnie Darko episode a few times ago, like there were so many moments of silence where Yvette and I were just sitting there because like we could not remember a single thing from this movie.
I forgot about that.
And we were just waiting for Laura. I left
carried
a
you.
few in because they were funny, but you guys, it was like a good like 10 solid minutes I had to cut out of us. Just like I should
Yeah.
have put in just little crickets. Like
You should have.
Oh my gosh, we need to do sound effects.
yes.
Yes. Because no, I carried you guys that episode.
You really did.
So
Okay,
So, anyways, I don't even know what we were talking about.
So we're
the
talking
intro,
about
the not
Hollywood
the intro
star.
scene, the star.
Oh,
yes.
right.
the Walk
Okay.
of Fame. So
Moving on.
it's getting added. It's all bright and shiny and glistening and
Mhm.
beautiful. And then it's obviously very symbolic. And it has Elizabeth Sparkle's name. But then
Mhm.
slowly over the years, people kind of walk over it. It gets cracked. People drop their food on
They
it.
ignore it. They don't stop to
Mhm.
look at it
They
anymore.
ignore it.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
like at one point, someone walks by and it's like, "Oh, isn't that somebody that was in something?" Like
Mhm.
they
Mhm.
can't remember who she was. So it's clearly showing that her star is fading.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. It kind of tells the story of the whole movie,
It does.
Right.
You could have just
Honestly,
stopped
short.
there.
Yeah, they could have just done a short
Yeah.
film.
I
It
think
really
I would
does,
have
'cause-
enjoyed that more.
I mean, it
That's
makes the star is her. It's cracked. It's
Right.
forgotten. It's invisible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could have just done
So,
that. Yeah, honestly, this movie was so long. Like
it was long.
It was a long movie.
In the
Yeah.
notes that I took, I was like, when I'm having a hard time with a movie, I try not to see how much time has passed
Oh yeah. Mhm.
because it's never as much as I want. But I was like, okay,
Mhm.
like we've got to be over halfway through. I was 18 minutes into the movie.
Stop.
I'm
It
not
wasn't
kidding.
that bad.
No, it was
It was
It was
not.
18.
It was
it's
5 minutes in.
part of why I don't think that I had watched it is because this always happens in these days, with all the darn social media. Like
Mhm.
when a movie is so hyped up, it sets you up for failure because I feel like everyone
Oh,
was
yeah.
talking about it. So while I'm watching it, I'm thinking like, why was this so popular? Like, why
Yeah, I
was
mean,
this so well
yeah.
received?
You
Because
go
of
Why
in
the
with
is the
sexy
hype.
rating
naked
so high?
women.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's true.
It
That
was so, again, not to be
true.
like, oh my God, such a prude, but like, I saw her butt. Okay. Like, we don't,
Like
that
it was
was
kind
so
of like a
many
movie
shots.
made for the male gaze with a story for women.
I
Like
don't
the
know.
visual was
I liked the visuals. I
I
was
just
into it.
It was a
I just was
lot. Like,
I
it
was
was a
like,
lot.
Yeah, I don't
okay,
know.
well, okay,
Okay.
we're gonna get ahead because
Anyway,
we're already reviewing the entire movie. So
yeah.
we'll get back to it.
Okay. So we get the sidewalk, the star,
Yes.
and then we get to meet
Yes.
Elizabeth Sparkle in her like current day.
Mhm.
And it's like a what, like a
Like an aerobic.
jazzercise,
Yeah.
Jazzercise.
aerobic thing, which it's like I mean I know it's supposed to be like, oh, she's so old, but it's like she looks so
She
good.
looks
She
Her
amazing.
looked
face, her
so good in that
her
scene.
Her
her face,
legs.
her body, her energy, her voice. Like I'm like this woman does not age, even though it shouldn't matter if she
Right.
does.
No,
We'll get
no,
But
into that in a
she's
sec.
but like
she's
when she came on,
leading.
I was like, oh my
Mhm.
God,
No,
she
she's
has it, you know?
Yep. Yeah.
incredible.
She's
Incredible.
leading her little jazzercise and they're filming it. So we get the
Hmm.
vibe that it's that sort of
Which,
thing.
P.S., there is a jazzercise like place
There
not
is.
too far from me,
Mhm.
and I have always wanted to go.
I feel
You
like we
should
need
go.
to.
Have either of you ever done a jazzercise?
No.
No.
It seems so ridiculous and fun. Maybe I'll go and I'll do a review.
Well,
Yes.
because I had watched a good amount of the movie and I was like, it wasn't until later that I was like, when does this take place? Like,
I it
because
did
it
make me question that too. Where
and
it's like,
she like
well,
talked on her like corded phone a lot. So I was
mhm,
like, it was weird because on one hand it really felt like the 80s, but then it's obviously today.
yeah,
But then also maybe even the future.
They
yeah.
probably did that on purpose to make it kind of
So
Yeah,
yes.
but then
ambiguous.
it did make it kind of confusing because I thought the same
Right.
thing. I was like, okay, well, this isn't now,
Right.
obviously, right? Like it,
Yeah.
yeah. No, it did make it. I wonder why she chose to go
Yeah.
with that
because it's awesome.
versus like, oh, like she was like a drama star, or like
Right.
something that like maybe wouldn't age it.
Yeah, would translate a little
Hmm.
more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's a good way to kind of show that she's like stuck in the
Yes,
80s, like
actually.
mentally.
Mhm. I
Hmm.
like that.
So, because
And
it's a
then
very specific type of exercise that's like of a specific
right.
time, and she
Yeah.
can't let it go.
Yep.
Mhm.
But then when she's done, she's like going, out and everyone's wishing her happy birthday. So we know it's her birthday.
Hmm.
And I don't know that they say, but in the description, we're told it's her 50th birthday. I don't
I
know
think
that they
they
ever.
say.
Okay, do they? Okay.
Yeah,
At
they
Yeah.
some point, we learn,
at
yes.
Okay.
some point that we learn. Yeah.
And we meet creepy, just gross Dennis Quaid. Like his character in this movie just made my skin crawl, and
Yeah.
I'm like him in every other movie.
Yeah.
So
No, so
he did
he
a good
did
job.
good.
No, he
Like,
did great.
He
I
made
mean,
me
and I
hate
feel
him.
like the name Harvey was so intentional.
right.
Like that
Me
was
too. I thought the exact same thing when she
Yeah.
was called into the room. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I had this moment, and this is a little bit later when he meets the younger one, but like I knew that I knew she had famous parents, the younger actress, but I was like,
Mhm.
wait, is that her dad in real life? And I was like, oh no, it's not. It's not. Her dad is another
Oh.
guy.
Mhm.
But
Oh.
I don't know why I confused. I thought that was her actual dad. It's not.
Oh.
It's not.
Yeah, that would be
Andy
weird.
McDowell is her mom.
Okay.
Really? What's her name? The actress that plays?
Something.
Margaret Qualley.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I
Yep.
really like her.
Mhm.
Oh, she's
I really
good.
like her.
Yeah.
If you guys watched Maid,
Yes.
Yes.
oh, it's
I
so
love
good.
that
Oh,
series.
It's like what, like 10 episodes or something, but like it's so good. She's
It's
so
so
good in
good.
that.
she's
Mhm.
so good in it, and I just
Mhm.
like I was so sad when that series was done
I
because
know.
it was done well and it was perfect, but
Yeah.
I just wanted to watch it again.
But then it was like, oh, but you know what? They closed it out. So like
Exactly.
it's okay, you know?
And it
Yeah.
says a lot for her acting because this is a very different role. And
Yeah.
it was kind of alarming at first, but I was like, oh no, she's doing well with it actually.
Yes,
Like,
and
Oh, the acting overall.
oh yeah,
acting
I
was good.
agree.
Every
It was.
single person I thought was really good.
I agree. But
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
so
so he's a creep.
Dennis Quaid's being a dick. He's being a creep. He's talking about like that they
Is
need
this
someone younger.
when they go to the restaurant?
Well, so first when it happens is that she oh yeah, the restaurant scene we'll talk about in a second. But first what happens is
Oh,
there's
in
like
the bathroom.
yeah, there's like the women's room is
It's
under
being cleaned
construction.
or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So she just like pops into the male bathroom and then
Mhm.
he comes in and she overhears him on the phone just talking about like get me someone younger. I can't believe like it might even be here where he's like she's 50, she needs to move on like
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I think that's where we learned.
something
Which,
like
by
that.
the way, Demi Moore, 10 years older than that.
What?
Isn't that
Yeah.
crazy?
Like, she's in her 60s now. So when she was making the movie, she was turning 60, not 50.
Wild.
Yeah.
Girl, get it. She is
Mhm.
amazing. Goddess.
Yeah. No. Aging,
Yeah.
like, how? Send all the routines, please.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh.
yeah, not a great way to start her birthday. So yeah, she goes to the bar.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and at some point I should maybe this is before maybe the martinis. At some point, I don't know why they showed a wine glass. It's like a white wine, and there was a fly in it.
Oh,
That was at the restaurant.
at the
That was when
restaurant.
she
That
met
was
at
at
the
the restaurant
restaurant.
because
Mhm.
I wrote it's literally a black
Yeah.
fly in her Chardonnay.
Yes.
And then I was singing Alanis Morissette.
Yes. No, that was when they were at the restaurant.
Yeah, it was at the restaurant. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
So yeah, she went and got drunk, and then the next day she meets with him at a restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
and it was okay. I love dark movies. I do. Like I've
Mhm.
seen some of the darkest movies there are. Okay, I
Mhm.
love them. I almost turned the movie off because I was like, no, I'm not putting myself through this. I'm done.
His fingers while he ate these shrimp and just chewing,
These
dipping
little
in the sauce.
crawfish and the noise, the audio in this movie
Yeah.
was
Mhm.
very unpleasant. And I just wrote down like I am having a bad time. Like, no.
He wanted to make it as gross as possible while they were filming. So,
Good.
like in real life, he ate 4 pounds of shrimp.
Oh God.
4 pounds of shrimp
Ugh.
for this scene.
It was
His hands were like, oh, you guys.
No, it's bad.
so I would classify the substance as like body horror, right?
Yeah.
Would you guys
Mhm.
agree? Kind of
Yeah.
like body
Mhm.
horror.
No, I
But
do agree. Yes.
I feel like the most terrifying depiction of a body in this entire thing was that scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
No, it's just
it was
gross.
so gross.
It's just gross.
And I can
gross.
I can take a lot.
That was
Mhm.
not the sexy kind of mastication.
No.
No, you're not getting
Because
that in
we
Sexy
do love
Sips.
mastication here on Spooky Sips, but
Mhm.
not that kind.
No. No, ma'am.
So yeah,
Right,
so
anyway,
she's
let's
done.
move on.
She loses her job, and
Mhm. And
boo.
then she
Oh.
gets in a right. She leaves.
Mhm.
Well, right before, yeah, so she leaves and right before the next thing that happens, she meets this friend from high school who
Oh
is
yes.
he's
Mhm.
super nice, but he's very average
He's
Joe.
just an average guy.
Like he's an average guy. He looks a lot older than her, but they were in high school together and then he asks her out and I don't know if the two of you felt this as well, but I was thinking she's thinking, "Oh my God, this is what my life is now. Is someone
Yes,
like
that's
that
what I thought.
is the type of person to now ask me out."
Because normally a guy wouldn't dare to
Mhm.
approach
Right.
a young, hot, beautiful star like that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just like she's above it. You know,
Right.
I was like, oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But she does. She takes his number and it like falls in the dirt. And instead
In
of
the water.
rewriting it, he gives her that one. I'm like,
Yeah.
add more
In
paper.
a little puddle.
Do it again.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be as symbolic.
And again, the audio is like when you're doing like you're posting on Instagram and you can turn the saturation of your photo up so it's like really intense. It's like that, but for noise. Like the
Yeah.
fucking every sound. I never knew, you guys.
I liked it.
I never knew that I didn't like it until this movie.
No, it's a lot. I mean, it's clearly intentional, you know.
It
Like
worked.
they wanted you to hate it, I think.
I did. Mission accomplished.
And so then she's driving away. So she's had this awful day. She's been fired. She's invisible. And then she sees a billboard of herself and they're tearing it down. They're like ripping her face.
Her face off.
Or literally her face. Yep.
And so she gets distracted. And boom, gets in a car crash.
And it's an intense scene. Like we see it from the inside of the car, which is cool.
Because she gets like just hit like right on the driver's side, just completely like what's that T?
Yeah, T-bone.
Yeah, T-bone. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like she's fine.
Yeah, she's in the hospital, but she's actually fine. They're like, wow, surprisingly, you're totally fine.
Which just felt so off. Like I was like, okay. Yeah, I feel like the to me the movie starts kind of just like what? Like I start to question. And like, I don't know. I get that there are movies where it's like, just accept it. This is the world that you're in. But like,
I couldn't do that.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine, I guess.
Like they should have at least given her like a scratch on her.
Right.
Or broken her wrist or something.
That looked pretty bad, you know? Yeah. Like I thought it was like, oh, like in the 5 seconds that we had to think about this, it was like, oh my God, she's in the car crash. And that's where the substance is going to come in. Like, you know, it was like, I had already come up with ideas in my head on like where this was going. So maybe that's part of why when it was like, oh, you're fine. I was like, oh, what? My theories.
So the doctor leaves and the assistant, the nurse, is very good looking in like a very like, it doesn't fit the scene. Like he's too glowy and pretty and tan and bronze. Like, it doesn't make sense. And he says, oh, I just have a few more things to check. And he's got this big, like, it could be a birthmark, but it almost looks like too purpley and bruisey for that. It's like this stain on his wrist. And he's like checking her spine. And she's like, what are you like? You can tell she's like, what's going on? And he's like, oh no, this would be perfect. Or what? I don't remember exactly.
Like, you'd be a good candidate.
Yeah. That's
or something for it, which like, and then asks no further questions.
And that's it.
What?
Yep.
Yeah. So she gets home, right? She goes home, and that's when she finds a USB drive.
Yeah, because he does. I think he does say he passes her like a note that says, "This changed my life."
Yeah, that's
and then inside the little note is a USB drive that says the substance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Her apartment's amazing. Again, very 80s coded. Like she's got a beautiful giant picture of herself in her aerobics outfit.
Yes.
The giant windows, but like the decor, like the lamps and everything is very 80s. But she plugs the USB into her TV and watches it. And
which, okay, again, like there's too much to question in this movie. Who gets a USB and is like, oh, I'm going to plug that into my TV?
Exactly. I thought the same thing. I was like, why is she putting it in there?
Yeah, like who gets a USB and it's like, oh, I'm going to go plug it into my TV. Like what?
Nobody, that's who.
That's a good point. I didn't even really...
Like why not have a laptop on the coffee table?
Yeah, like if someone gave me a USB drive and it's like, here it is. Like
I don't even, does my TV even have?
Right?
Does.
I don't know. Like,
yeah.
Again, tiny detail, but I was like
the hard-hitting questions, okay?
For some reason, that is what took me out. I was like, oh my God, a USB into your TV. Who does that? It's the one flaw. I don't know.
It didn't even I just went with it. I just rolled with this movie. I think maybe that's why I didn't hate it as much as it appears that you both did.
I did not roll with this movie.
I just rolled with it.
I persevered very hard.
That was just like a new thing. I was like, who would even think to plug a USB drive into their like TV?
Yeah.
Elizabeth Sparkle would.
No, a 50-year-old woman would never think
She would not.
She would barely know how to put it in her laptop.
TV.
Okay.
Right.
Let's talk about this for 45 more minutes.
No, she would have an assistant. She would have
she'd be like, figure this out for me. What is this?
Exactly.
You're right.
But okay. it comes on and it's all very vague. Like,
well, it says the rules. So it basically is saying you're going to get your split self, but it's alternating weeks and you are the Matrix. And then it's all you, and you are one. And like 7 days on and then 7 days off or something like that.
But that actually means nothing.
I know.
What does that mean?
No,
well,
it makes
we
no
learn.
sense.
Like, it's wild to me that like with such little information or any human to human contact instructions, she would just like be like, okay, like, I don't know.
Right.
Like not one single question was asked.
Like, what?
See, and again, I kind of liked it because I almost figured there was more that she heard or more instruction, but maybe that we just didn't hear. I felt like they kept it vague so that you could believe it because they can't actually explain it because it doesn't make sense.
Well, right, because
like
science,
it can't work.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I kind of
yeah. Okay. But then it calls itself the substance.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's it. And she's kind of like, okay, well, what do I do now? Like,
yeah.
And so I think it's the next day that she checks the mail, and all it is like a hotel key card with 503 on it. And that's it.
Yeah.
And maybe an address. Or
she gets an address and the card separately. I forget how she gets it, but she gets
the address is barely even an address. It's kind of just like a very vague.
Well, someone so she calls to order after she gets the little key card. She's like, I would like to order. And so the mystery man on the phone says, write this down, and he gives her the place to go.
That's what
That's right. And she goes, and it's like an alley, like a very like dirty, forgotten alley
with graffiti.
There's like one of those pull-up garage doors, like the metal garage doors. But she like tries, and it only goes up like maybe to your hip, like barely.
I love that.
And she like tries to look inside, and there's like nothing.
She's like scanning, like again,
and she just keeps trying. But then she's like, all right, well, fuck it. And she goes in, which I'm like, I would have left. Like,
she's desperate.
Yeah.
She's desperate.
Desperate for something she knows nothing about. Yeah. Like, I don't know.
And so she goes in, and it's weird. Like,
it's like
there's this
mini lockers.
It's like a package room.
Okay, you know what? Both this room and her bathroom very much remind me of the setting of Saw. But
that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Like, it's the just a weird tiled bathroom room. Like, and very weird. It doesn't feel like this would be in a home at all. Like,
no, it makes no sense.
Even this locker room, and there's just a thing of lockers. And she realizes that she just puts the key card up and it opens, and there's just her like little package.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So she takes it home. She goes into her bathroom.
And so she naked. She opens this mystery kit, and the mystery kit has an activator, a stabilizer, and a switcher.
And food. Or like food. Food
or
for
other.
Food for the
So this is the part for me that kind of I didn't just go with it. Like, she just knows how to inject herself with this stuff.
Okay, listen, I'm my time will come, but yes, I agree.
Yeah.
And she gets totally naked.
She gets totally naked.
She knows that she should be naked. Why would she know?
Unnecessary.
But maybe again, that was in the instructions that we just as the audience didn't.
We didn't get any instruction. They're like when she opened the box, maybe there could have been some basic instruction, like an IKEA manual. Like
exactly. An IKEA manual would have been enough. Like
but also then it gets parts of the movie that got everyone talking, that everyone was like losing their mind over, because Demi Moore is just completely nude, full. Like picture of her body.
Nudity. Yes.
And also, one of the next scenes I think proves that there's no instructions. We can when we get to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And just amazing. Like, how does this woman?
I know.
Money.
Have that body.
Money.
Yeah, time.
That's how money is how she has that body.
There's also got to be genetics, like
yes. Oh, for sure,
and hard work. I'm sure she works.
No, I'm
out
sure,
all the time.
But it's also that she is afforded time. To put in that work because she has money.
Oh yeah, I mean, good food, good training, all of that,
But anyway,
whatever prep she did.
I did think it was interesting that when it's time for her to inject it, So here's the only reason why this one actually didn't bother me. It's the other version that bothers me. Because when she went to go put it in, I don't know if either of you picked this up, she had a tiny little track mark. So to me, that was telling us like, oh, she did drugs, because she holds her elbow out and there's a scar. There's a tiny circular scar, and that's where she puts it in.
Oh my God, I did not notice that.
And I was,
interesting.
Good eye.
I mean, I'm pretty familiar with hard drugs, so you know.
But yeah, I did not notice that.
So I'm guessing. So to me, that one actually made sense as to how she
I didn't notice that.
Okay.
So that's a good catch.
So she does, and at first, she's like, "Okay, what now?"
Yeah, like kind of like what? And then she just collapsed. Which again, you would die if you just fell on
that fucking
freaking
hard
tile covered.
You can
bathroom.
like hear her head hit, and it's like, Jesus.
It's bad. It's bad. Oh, and just the pain that she conveys. So what I wrote was, in pain, naked on the floor. Damn, girl, that body.
But also, damn.
But no, she is just writhing. And then like she's kind of in a fetal position. And all of a sudden we see like her back starts to move.
Yeah.
It's like this alien thing is moving inside her.
Yeah. Because like we saw the egg.
Exactly.
So
now we think of the egg and we're like, oh shit.
We know. So it's like, where is it coming from?
Also in the preview, they show her back all tied up. So it's like, okay, I kind of remember that was, you know.
See that.
And then her back splits. Now here's another thing that bothers me again, that like took me slightly out of it. It's a movie that is making itself known for body horror, and her back just split open with absolutely no blood.
Yeah, like
present
it just
at all.
opens.
Maybe all of her blood was like going into the
You're giving it too much credit. I was like, get out of here. Like
hand.
it would not be that like.
There should be more blood. Yeah. There should have been more blood.
There should have been more blood.
But her entire back splits open.
Well, and here's what surprises me, Brianna, that you didn't say bothered you the most. Like before the back starts to open, they do a super, super close up, or maybe it's while the back is open.
I literally just closed my eyes. And
super close up of her bloody eyeball.
No, I just didn't fucking.
Which is something that you cannot do.
Oh no, it was so good because like then in the eyeball you see like a
little eyeball,
a different eyeball,
second eyeball go in, and
no,
you know there's a transformation.
I liked the scene. I was like, this is so weird.
It was.
That was
and again, the sound was like
the sound. It doesn't make sense.
What birth probably sounds like.
No sense at all.
Like obviously it doesn't make any sense, but it was cool.
Yeah,
it was cool.
So
and then she gave birth to an entire full-size adult,
like a full adult. Yeah. So now we have the second.
And again, no blood. Adult. She's just like glistening. She's like wet.
She is young.
She kind of looks like
dry
in a primordial goo a little.
Yeah.
Like I feel like her hair was like, you know.
Her hair was done, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, they could have at least had her be like covered in goo, you know, like a baby, like, you know, or blood.
Amniotic fluid, you know.
Yeah, where was the fluid?
So at this point, Elizabeth is passed out. Like she's gone. She's out. She's not dead, but she is passed out on the floor. And the body, it's a cool perspective changing where like we're watching this scene now through her eyes. And she like goes to the mirror and it's fogged. She like cleans it. And she's like, damn, I look fucking good. Like,
she's not wrong.
Feeling herself in that.
But here's what I don't like that we get to more later in the movie is she's not Elizabeth Sparkle.
No.
So she doesn't like, it's not like Elizabeth Sparkle is looking in like, oh, look, I'm young again. Or I'm better. It's a different person.
Their consciousness is not tight at all.
Exactly.
No, that's absolutely my biggest gripe with this. Where it's like, why would anyone do this?
Right. Exactly. Why would anyone do this? This movie would have been so much better if they had shared a consciousness.
Yeah.
Like,
even if they would have given us just a tiny bit of backstory to Elizabeth, because like in my mind, I was like, maybe it's just that like she could not swallow and accept her failure, aka her aging. And so at least to see something that is technically her succeed was enough. But I feel like if they could have given us like a little backstory as to why she was alone at 50, why she, didn't have connection, like anything,
and
I
we
feel
didn't
like could
see
have
if she had,
helped
because we didn't
a
see if she had
little.
kids or anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, but no, they're not tied.
Yeah, you have to give them some, even if it was like, oh, they are like almost separate beings, but like it's not until, not to jump to the end, but it is not until like the end of the movie that Sue, the younger one, has to like starts having an impact. So it's like there's nothing really tying them together at all, and there's no, like it's like why would anyone do this? Like I don't understand why.
I don't understand it either.
And then here's my fucking beef is that okay?
We have a lot of beef. Okay,
a lot of beef.
I'm sweating.
I got the beef sweats.
The beef sweats.
Here come the beef sweats. Just gonna keep drinking my martini.
Anyways,
you can just cut that out.
Anyways, I will not.
She will not.
This is the first time I'm not going to cut Yvette's thing out.
She's going to highlight it. Yep. You know she is.
I sure am. It's going to be on our Instagram. You guys wait.
I'm seriously sweating so bad. I don't know why.
No, but listen, here's my one beef is like, okay, we have to suspend belief that she just popped out a fully functioning adult that knows how to do everything a person does. Speak,
yes.
Write, walk, like, fine. But then this motherfucker walks up to Elizabeth's body and just knows how to fucking perform surgery on her. She knows how to close her back. She knows it. That's what she's supposed to do. She knows how to do a fucking spinal tap.
Saw her birth, so there's no instructions that were given that we didn't get to see. Like
she knows how to do a spinal tap.
Seen her entire existence.
So
I was like, I'm done. We're done here.
Well, because originally when I first was watching this, because I went into this not knowing much, I thought that they would have had a shared consciousness. So I thought, well, the new girl knows what to do because Elizabeth studied what to do.
Right.
So that's why she knows. But then once you learn that they're not shared minds, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And it would have been
why would she know?
Such a small thing. What they could have done is when she was looking in the mirror, like all it would have taken is for her to find a thing that said, you must take care of the matrix and then be a manual. They don't even have to show us any of it, but just she would pick that up and then she would do it. That would have been enough.
Right.
Simple, just like a quick, like, hey, this is where this came from.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, but we also need to just talk about the scene of her sewing up the back.
Oh,
I could not watch.
This is when I just drew a little puking face on my notes.
I was like, not going to happen.
Yeah.
No.
It was so detailed.
Yeah.
And the
way
yarn was so thick that she was sewing.
Yeah. And like the way she does it where it's like, I mean, again, I don't know how to stitch someone up, but like if I got like a yarn and needle, I would think like to just sew like you would.
And again, no blood.
But she hooks it and then she just ties it and cuts it and then ties a knot.
Only surgeons know how to do that. And again, no blood, no seeping blood. It's a clean wound.
Yeah, listen, I know they had fake blood. Okay, we get to the end. There was fake blood available to them.
Is I was like, what was the point of withholding here? Like,
yeah,
just
like a little bit more blood would have been.
I can't, Laura. I will not move on.
You have to move on.
Can't.
Okay. So next, Sue sees that there are auditions.
Oh, and she just is like, I'm Sue.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So she decides her name is going to be Sue. So she sees that there's auditions for Elizabeth Sparkle's old job. And so she goes, and as she's going to go to the audition, she walks by and she sees this like 80s sparkly unitard thing. Yes. And she's like, yeah, that's what I'm going to wear. And I will say though, damn girl.
Damn, like, that girl's got an ass.
She has like the most perfect body. It's
wild.
Wild.
I think that was a lot of training. I I'm pretty sure it was her boobs are not hers.
I was wondering.
That was done. Like they
Mm.
made those
I've
for her.
actually heard that that's like a more popular thing now because it feels for the actress like it feels less violating to have the world see that.
Oh,
Which
interesting.
I'm like, you know what? With technology, yes, that's what we should be doing with technology. Thank you.
Like, what do you
That
mean?
I'm good with.
Was this a prosthetic boob or what are you talking about?
Yeah,
and then
they can like make sure to put it in editing like that it looks all fluid and good, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure she just looks incredible. Like she actually did like do a lot of training and stuff.
It's her body.
But the boobs are prosthetics, which it's so funny just to be like, oh, this
I have to say, like, if I had to have the world see my boobs, I'd feel better if they weren't really my boobs. It would give me a little more autonomy to be like, I've kept that to me still, you know.
Yeah.
Laura would just be tits out. So, you know.
I mean, free the nipple, you know.
I would be. They're great.
On the one hand,
Go
it's
for
like,
it.
yeah, that way you're not showing. On the other hand, it's like, again, the very thing that this movie is doing.
Right.
And it's like, well, no, we have to make them look better.
Well, that's what I was just about to say is like, that actually is kind of disappointing to me, but also very fitting with the movie. And we will get into that with the psych. Like they took this most perfect, beautiful, wonderful person and they still had to like, fix her up.
Her.
Yeah.
Like, because she's still not good enough. That's
So I don't know
bullshit.
I don't know the reasoning, I will say, behind it. But
if it's her, fine.
Right.
Yeah.
But even if it's her, that's sad.
She goes into her little audition, perfectly outfitted.
Oh my gosh, I love the little,
I mean, honestly, like, and it's quick that they're like, you know, this is you're it. This is our big ticket. Because like we've seen in a couple of other scenes where the character of Harvey like met up with other guys and he would just make comments about how they were doing really well. Like, yeah, man, I saw that you went big with that. Like, so you know that he's waiting for his chance to like get the next big star. And immediately he's like, this is it. Like you are. And he's weirdly like paternal to her, but also in a way that's like very much like, I'm 100% using you for your body.
It's very pervy. And they're also before they hire Sue, there had been some other girls that came to audition and they would just make these like awful comments like, oh, if only like her breasts were where her nose are or something like that, which comes into play later. But they're such pieces of shit.
Oh yes. Yeah.
I'm just eating my waterlogged olive.
I love it. I know I'm first martini down.
Ooh, nice.
But so she enjoys being like young and beautiful for a week and then they have to switch back.
Yeah.
And she seems good with it. She's like, cool, okay.
So here's what then I wrote down in my notes. I don't know why they have to be naked and on the cold floor. Why not cozy PJs in bed? There is no reason.
What I was wondering.
At this point,
I honestly can't understand.
Why are they doing this?
The first time they'd be naked because, you know, you have to burr the human out of your back. Sure, fine. Yeah. But for the rest of the times, like, don't just leave them cold naked on the floor.
Because no matter your age, they're always in this like twisted position. It would fucking hurt to be in that position for a week straight, no matter what age you are.
Also, again, you could just die hitting your freaking head on your sink or your completely tile bathroom.
But like, wouldn't it be nice to just lay in a cozy bed with like silk pajamas and like nice pillows and stuff?
Well, and we will see soon that she learns how to hide the body.
Right. But
again, put a fucking bed in there.
Yeah.
Or at least a blanket.
Down.
And pajamas.
Yeah. I feel, again, one of the many gripes with this movie is like, I do kind of feel like they never even tried. Like, again, it was like the whole thing was like they were supposed to be one and like whatever. It's like they really did just hate each other. Well, yeah, because she didn't care. Like, they didn't care about doing that.
There's no reason that the younger one would.
Exactly.
Why would she?
There is not one single reason because, you know, I mean, I think part of it too is that they do say at some point that like, you know, they are one. So it's supposed to be that like, Elizabeth's self formed this new one. So we know obviously that Elizabeth is like vain and probably selfish and probably closed off to emotions because she's alone at 50. But even with all of that still, so why would she not think no one's going to give it? She's not going to give a shit. There's no motive.
Yeah.
Maybe
also,
she
again,
thought,
it's just everyone is unlikable in this movie. Like, it's like I wasn't really rooting for anyone.
I wasn't rooting for a single one of them.
They all kind of suck.
They all sucked, which makes a movie hard, at least for me.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
I thought they sucked, but I sympathized, I guess.
I didn't.
I don't know. I felt for them. I think I just the whole time was thinking about what society has done to create women to feel like this. And the fact that this movie and these characters who are so unlikable resonated with me, like that got to me. Because they are unlikable, but they're also a product of their culture, a product of society and pressure that women face. So
yes, I just think the actual like logistics of it, they took way too many liberties and like were entitled enough to not have to tell us as the audience. And it worked. It's one of the like higher rated movies on IMDb right now. Like, but really the truth of the matter is like, there wasn't much substance
once again
there. There really wasn't.
There was no character development at all. There was no story. Like it was like who? Yeah, no. Again, I mean, I also did that. The only thing I did feel for them was like I felt bad, for it. Like, but it's like I mean, I think that was just being human, not because the writing was.
Yep.
Like
so yeah, for the first little while, like the first couple of trades, it goes smoothly, right?
Like Sue's, Sue's like living it up, but like. Elizabeth is kind of becoming a couch potato.
Yeah, you can. They show us that the chair is kind of sunken with the remote, and you know that like we know that she's just sitting there at night, just eating and watching TV.
So as I was just saying their names, I also had a moment while taking my notes. At one point, there's an assistant, and I forget her name, but it was supposed to be 3 syllables. Assistant to Dennis Quaid's.
Oh yes. Yes.
Her name was like 3 syllables or 4 syllables or something. And he was like,
Isabella.
Isabella.
Like,
that's Isabella.
He was like, that's too long. That's too difficult. I'm not going to spend the time to say your name that long. You're Cindy.
Yep.
And then as I'm writing my notes, I was like, Elizabeth. I was like, it's such a long name to write. And I was like, oh God,
it's not worth it.
I'm Dennis Quaid.
You are Dennis Quaid.
Your name is now Cindy.
So I just started writing E, and then I felt like, oh no, I've joined.
Oh God.
You know, this was one of the first scenes that I actually did feel a connection to the character where I was like, you could see that like in her brain, like this was the first time in her life that she got to just sit down and eat and watch TV, like and not worry about it. So she had a moment before it went haywire of being like, you know, but it didn't last.
Well, okay, again, and I have too many gripes with this movie, so I'll need to skip over some of these. But like,
girls are haters.
Again, she does kind of just like give up on like a lot of things, but it's like the person we saw at the beginning of the movie, like this was the same person. This was days apart, right? Like having this show, like she's clearly athletic. She would have to work out to maintain this physique. She would have to like to me it was kind of like I don't know if I believed that she fell so quickly.
She devolved too quickly.
Like I don't know if I believe there. It's like, and someone at her success level, like I was like, I don't know, she must at least have an assistant or something to like, or an agent, or like, you know, even if it was like she's a lonely person and like doesn't have friends. Like I was kind of like, but she would have people who like maybe aren't friends, but like she would have people, and also again to get here, like, it's like so she just went from like working out every day to like
couch potato,
not doing anything. Like clearly she had been eating well. To do that, and it's like just like but like we didn't get to see her devolve. To me, like it felt so sudden where like I don't know if I believed it.
Yeah. And you can tell that quickly after the first couple of times that Sue is like wanting to disconnect from Elizabeth, so she creates this secret room. Which again, she's just inherited how to be a handyman and contractor overnight.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
because that didn't even come from Elizabeth.
But in the bathroom, she creates this like fake door so that they can just hide in there on their week off. Okay. And she meets her very like annoying neighbor that was pissed off that she's making noise. But the second that he sees her, he's like, oh, sorry, blah, 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 blah. And he
Can I
just
come help you? I'm
bubbles
handy.
all over himself.
I have a big hammer.
Just a total jerk. Like,
yeah.
But you can tell the minute that she hides Elizabeth in there, you can kind of see
the shift
that like she's done.
Yeah.
Like,
I think at best she started indifferent towards Elizabeth.
Yes.
Like, I don't think she ever really cared.
No,
for
I
Elizabeth.
don't either.
Like, at best it was indifferent, and then she just got so annoyed.
Yes.
And just probably despised her. Like,
yes.
Well, and so she's like changed the show. So now it's called like Pump It Up.
Yes.
And there's these videos where just like, you're just seeing the thrusting.
It's very sexual.
Bodies.
Yeah.
I liked it. And then
very sexual.
But then Sue starts to push the limits. So she doesn't want to be done yet when she wants to go out. One night. So she waits and takes a little bit more spinal fluid from Elizabeth so that she can get an 8th day.
Yep.
And then when Elizabeth wakes up, she's got this like gnarled, super aged finger.
Yeah.
Because that's the cost. And then, Elizabeth freaks out and she like calls the guy. She's like, oh my gosh, she took too much time. Like, how do I reverse it? And he says, what is done cannot be undone.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is taken cannot be given back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which,
because like what is used on one is taken from the other.
Which, when he said that, I was like, yeah, take an extra day. See what happens. Like, take an extra day from Sue. Like,
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't she take an extra day?
Why wouldn't she just take...
Well, because she doesn't take fluid. So Sue has her little syringe with 7 days and 7 little vials. She takes that from Elizabeth. Elizabeth does not take anything from Sue.
But she has to do something to make the switch. So what?
No, that's just the switch gel where they put the double IV in where their blood goes like that. Right. But she does not. Only Sue needs substance.
But could she just wait? Could she just wait an extra day? Could Elizabeth just not do that?
I don't know.
I wish she would have. Just like, again, even if it doesn't do anything, because it's like, well, you're the Matrix. So it's like, you're just living your life now. I was kind of like, well, okay, then take a day. Like,
right.
But it kind of gets out of hand quickly. So Harvey calls her into the office one day because she shows up to set and it's all like shutting down. And they say that he needs to see you immediately. And she wants to go change, but he's like, no. And this was where I was like, oh, that's why he's Harvey. Because like she goes into his office and the perspective, is it called the fish lens perspective?
Oh, yeah.
Everything looks like big. And he's just at his giant desk and she's like afraid. Like you feel that she's like scared. She doesn't know if she did something, what happened. And I was like, oh yeah, this is gross. But it's just that she's super famous. Everyone
she's
loves
just
her.
So good.
And that her morning show isn't enough. They need to go bigger and better. She's going to be the New Year's Eve star for the, famous New Year's Eve show. Like, and so you can tell that at this point she's like, oh, well, I need more time. So we kind of get like, it's not a montage, but we kind of get this segment where like, she's wanting more time. Like she's going to be on Vogue and she's trying to figure out how to like what to do.
We do have to go back to messed up finger. Elizabeth Sparkle though. Because I feel like that had probably one of the better scenes that I think still sticks with me.
I agree, actually.
Because so we go, taking us back just a little bit before she gets way out of hand. Elizabeth decides to call the guy from high school. Because you can tell she's upset about the finger situation. And I think she needed some validation, maybe some company, just whatever. So, and like, he was very like, you are literally the most beautiful person that like has ever existed. And like, you literally still are. Like, he
called her the most beautiful girl in the world, which I think even just knowing that she wasn't a woman in his eye, like, which is kind of fucked up. But
no, but
Like it's, and I think she even like said, like, I think we rehear it or something when she's calling.
Mm-hmm.
And so they call and it's like, yeah, let's get dinner tonight. They set a date. And before she goes on a date, she's getting ready in the
Yes.
bathroom.
And she looks great. She's got this amazing red dress,
so
good.
gloves,
Yeah.
So good.
Yes, she gets
hair and
the
makeup,
gloves to
amazing.
get ready to go. And there's this
Gorgeous.
scene in the bathroom, which is just like, I mean, I feel like we've all had something at least similar to this, 'Cause she's in the bathroom. And I think after she got ready the first time, she sees the frigging poster of Sue.
Yes,
Yeah,
there's
like
this billboard.
she
The
went to leave and
billboard.
there's the big
Mhm.
billboard with the pump it up.
Yep. And
Yeah.
she's just, it's like zooming in on Sue and just like how incredible she looks. And so Elizabeth goes back to the bathroom and she's just like, oh, I'll just
Touching
do
up,
like a little bit
fixing.
more. Like yeah, it's like, oh, okay, maybe like a little bit more lip gloss or like a little bit more mascara, like whatever she does.
Right.
She's like touching up. And it's like, okay, now she'll go.
Mhm.
And then it's like, okay, no, actually, gonna go back. Gonna like do it. So like it just like she keeps going back and forth, and then eventually she just starts like taking everything. And like the way she's taking her makeup off,
Very
like
intense.
just so violently, just trying to like take
Yeah.
it all
It's
off. Like
like
it's oh
pure hatred for herself, which is
yeah.
so heartbreaking.
Yeah. Like again, like I know we haven't all had that exact, but it's like, sometimes you
Pretty
get ready
close.
and then it's like,
Pretty
you know
close
what? Like I'm
nose.
literally just gonna start over. Like I
Yes.
this looks I'm giving up. And it's like
No.
start over, you do like we've all had moments that
Hmm.
were like that scene was
I
so good. Where it's like
agree.
I felt that one. Like
I
I
felt that
really
one too.
felt that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
saw that like Demi Moore, apparently they did so many takes of it and like she fucking committed every time
Yeah.
that like she literally like had to take a break because she had like sores on her face from like rubbing
Yeah.
her face so hard because
No,
every scene she was that committed
Mhm.
and
No,
it's so intense.
the
Like
makeup department had to come in because I think it was like after, I think it was the 11th take, 11th of her doing that. The makeup department was like, hey, like her face is raw. Like she's
yeah,
going to get a rash if
right.
you keep doing this. Like this is really bad for your skin.
Like it's
But
good
like,
enough. Let's move
yeah,
on.
like the makeup department had to step in to be like, hey, you can't keep doing it. Like,
And she takes her gloves off and she sees her finger and then we see that she just isn't going to go. Like
Mhm.
yeah.
and she's sitting on her bed and we see her cell phone get all these notifications from the guy being like, where are you? And he even says something about like, of course, a beautiful lady like you would need to be late to make an entrance. Like he's
Yeah.
so sweet.
Like totally get it,
Like I would go on a date with this
I'm
man.
here. Like
He's so cute.
yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. I think that was my favorite scene of this whole
Yeah,
movie because
that
it
was
just
good.
like
Well, and it kind
you
of
got
like
it.
almost is it almost feels like a conclusion to her story a little.
Mhm.
Like
She
Yeah.
gives up.
she's
I
done.
mean, yeah, I feel like after that, she really does. Like
Right.
she's just
Mhm.
gone. Like she is not.
Because
She's
then
literally just sitting watching TV.
I think it's the next day that like, or the next scene, sorry, the next scene that like, we see that Sue came back on, but then when she transfers back, Elizabeth comes out and her house is like trashed.
Oh,
Like it
yes.
is like she's obviously been having parties, staying up,
Mm-hmm.
like because her house
Yeah.
is just like an absolute nightmare. And I
Mm-hmm.
think she calls again to be like, my whatever she calls it, clone is not respecting the
Yeah.
boundaries. Like she calls a few
Yeah.
times
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like she basically is like, how can I make her do better? Like, and he's like,
Mhm.
well, you can't, you're the same. Don't say me versus her, like blah, blah, blah.
You are
Like you are
one.
one. You are one.
But then I think now is when Sue is back on and we see that she's taking a good amount of time because we see like the vials piling up in the
Mhm.
bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she finally transfers back.
Yeah. Because she's like, oh my God, we just did Vogue. Oh, we just
Right.
did like what
Yes.
like
Because she's like
she
excited that
she
like
keeps having these
I just
opportunities
need
pop
one more
up.
night. I just need one more night. Right. But I
Yep.
think what was it, 3 months later, it says on the
Yeah,
script.
I think
Yeah.
so.
3 months. Mhm.
And Elizabeth comes out and like again, I think we're revealed in the mirror. And it's just like this haggard old lady.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we do get one in between where it's like it's like her leg.
Oh,
just her leg.
Yes.
Oh,
we have the
yes.
finger.
Yes.
And then
the
we
leg.
have
But
just
then
the leg,
3
which
months
was not 3 months. Yeah, the leg
right,
was
the
like
3 month is like
a week or something. And then, yeah, she goes longer. And that's, yeah.
Because this was one of the only scenes that I liked where like she is basically like, okay, I'm fucked. Like,
Yeah.
she's not respecting, my time. And earlier in the movie, when Harvey had fired her, they like shove this farewell, like, here's your box and we gave you a gift at her, right? Like something for you to do. And she opens it and it's like a French cooking. But it's like if you were, it's like a French cooking for the dead, it feels.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's like every recipe looked so disgusting.
And was literally like vermin and I don't even, it was disgusting.
It was gross. And
I was like, this is so gross. Like the sounds and but we see her cooking up a storm and it's of all these really gross things.
The chicken.
Yeah, like chicken and.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she's listening to an interview that Sue had done. She was like on a late night talk show.
Yes.
And this was the one part that I loved where like she's listening to Sue talk and then she like mimics her and makes fun of her.
Yeah.
That was the one I was like, okay, actually, I like this one.
Yeah.
Scene. I enjoyed that was one scene I enjoyed. So
yeah.
But she just like cooks so much, and then the kitchen is disgusting.
No, she just keeps making stuff. Like she keep like an entire chicken, and then like these disgusting sausages, and like it. Yeah.
So speaking of chicken, right before I think it gets to this scene,
yes, it was right before
where we have also seen scenes that like that Elizabeth is eating chicken, which we have talked about on this show time and time again. What is it about rotisserie chickens that is so utterly repulsing?
For the photos, I think you need to do martinis in a rotisserie chicken. Just a carcass. Get a carcass of a rotisserie chicken.
Because we do get a scene where Sue is
that was a good one,
being sexy, making her little like dance video, and then all of a sudden there's this thing that kind of pops up from her butt,
like a bubble.
It's so good. It's like, because again, very sexual, like dancing. It's like a scene where she's like full like bend forward, and then you just get like a little like bloop, and she's like up.
Yep. And then the production is like, wait, we have to pause. There was something on the monitor.
Oh my God.
And she's like, they're all looking at the screen for where it's going to come. And she's like, I need my dressing gown. And I liked this moment.
Going through it frame by frame.
Yes. I liked this moment because I was like, I think this does illustrate that like, it is one thing to have to bear your body on camera. It's another thing to then have to watch it back. And I think when she's watching it back, she can't handle it. And she like wants her gown because she feels so like exposed. And so I did like that little.
But so then we see a scene of then she like goes and she's, kind of in the dressing room and she's like kind of like massaging her butt and like finds the bulge, and she then like kind of pushes it up through her butt and along like her hip bone and kind of through her stomach, and then she reaches her fingers into her belly button,
like it just is a portal for your body, like it just opens on command.
You just
reaches it in and then slowly, disgustingly pulls out this chicken wing.
Yeah, it's like a full wing, like it's
like a
meat
full
on
chicken leg,
like a drumstick.
Like it's
like
not
a
just
drumstick.
A bone.
Thank you.
Yeah,
she pulls out a drumstick, but then she wakes up, and we learn that was a dream. Which
she's in the room.
Why I bring this up.
She's in the room with Elizabeth.
Yeah,
she's in the room transferred.
Yeah. I will say the one thing, in my list of many things, is especially at the beginning with the finger, because that's like an easy thing you can hide, right? There was really no way for Sue to know that she caused that.
Right.
Like, which again just goes to like the communication here. Because like she would have done it, and then when she got back, she looked the same.
Right.
Right?
She
Because
wouldn't have noticed.
the aging doesn't happen until later.
Yep.
It's not like she gets to watch her actively get like, you know, life sucked out of her.
Except she also doesn't know how to be a surgeon or a handyman, and then those things happen. So I think she does probably know.
That's true.
But when she wakes up this time and she goes out, the apartment is like trashed. And Elizabeth had done this thing where she took newspapers and put them on the window so she couldn't see Sue's billboard. And you can tell in this moment, Sue is like, okay, we're done.
Yeah.
And this is when she decides like,
this is when she calls. Right. We hadn't seen Sue call the substance people. Right. She's like, she is literally just wasting away. Like, this is so unfair. I have so much to do.
Yep.
And this is what she's doing. Like, this is the first time I think we see her call.
Yep. And she just is like, okay, I'm done. And so we now understand that like a lot of time is passing and she is not. Because what she does is she goes into the room. And it was a syringe with these tiny little 7 days of vials for fluid. But she just comes in with all these like vases.
Like all the jars she could find.
And she's just like pulling out, and her spine wound is disgusting. And she just keeps like going in there and pulling all the fluid out for just like weeks at a time. So she can have.
But right before like that switch, right before like when Elizabeth was all like haggard and had that scene with the food. It was so notable to me where she was so upset that Sue had been taking from her, and where she's like, stop it, stop it, stop it. And she's like banging her head like into a surface or something. It was just such like a visceral like hard scene to watch.
Yeah.
It was just I think that was one of my favorite scenes where she was doing that. So
because we now know that she can stop it as the Matrix. She can stop this if she wants, but there's no going back. She would stop where she's at.
Yes. And so so she could stop, and she had even called and said, and he's like, well, do you want to stop now? You'll stay as you are.
Right.
But then I think even before she had called, there's the scene where she's like sitting on the TV and she's watching, sitting on the couch watching TV, but her leg is all fucked and she wants to go call, like get to the phone, and she has to like pop her leg into place.
It's disgusting.
And then she like starts pulling out her teeth because her teeth just aren't.
There's a lot happening with teeth in this movie.
Yeah.
The scene
which like is actually like my biggest nightmare. It's just like teeth falling. I hate it so much.
So have either of you had dreams where like your teeth fall out?
Yes.
I have it multiple times.
I feel like that is like my biggest nightmare. Is that
and, like my teeth like crumble. They like crumble in my mouth.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrifying.
Yeah. No. Nightmare fuel.
So then I do feel like the thing that happened right before the switch, where like Sue then was like, just filling up the buckets and stuff.
Yeah.
Was that Elizabeth, when she was, awake, she watched this video of Sue going on a late night interview. And she referred, like he asked, like, oh, I know you took over for Elizabeth Sparkle.
Oh, that's right.
Like, did you ever watch her show? And she is just so mean. And she's like, oh yeah, it's Jurassic
so condescending.
Fitness. And so then I think Elizabeth just completely trashes the apartment. Food is everywhere.
That's right. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
And then Sue is like, "You're gross, fat, ugly," and she's like kicking her, and she's like mad at her, and then she starts doing all that like
right. And
she's
then
like, basically, you're not waking up.
Yeah, and then we basically know that like a lot of time has passed, and like. We haven't seen Elizabeth yet, but we know that like she's been in there for a very long time.
Well, and what we do see is, even though we don't see Elizabeth, we see Sue going to inject with the fluid, and it's looking rough.
She pulls it out, like she tries to, because her wound is a mountain now.
It's so,
and she
so
tries
bad,
to extract it, and it's just this like black,
bloody black.
Chunky
mess.
And so she calls and she's like, I need an emergency dose. The substance is gone. Like it won't come out. It's bad. What do I do? And they're like, that basically they're like, that's what happens when you do what you do. Like you neglected her for so long that it didn't regenerate. There's no more.
They're like,
can't do
that's
anything.
the end.
And she's like, well, how do I get it? And they're like, well, you have to switch back. Like that's the only way the substance regenerates is by switching back. And it's right before her big New Year's thing.
Yeah.
So we know that she's like, I have to be on.
Yeah.
So then Elizabeth wakes up and is just a complete gremlin. Like,
oh, it's so bad.
Well, because she's with a guy, Sue is with a guy, and they're like kissing.
I forgot about that.
She starts not being okay. Like she's kind of malfunctioning.
Because we've noticed that before when it's close to time of substance, like she gets like a nosebleed.
But this time she's also like she can't hear and like so she runs into the bathroom and she's not okay. She realizes like I have to switch right now, or I'm gonna like die. This will all
like she's out.
And so the guy is like outside of the bathroom, and I love that they do show him naked, and his little hairy butt is just like,
oh my god, yeah,
banging on the door. But she does switch, so it's now Elizabeth, but like I don't even know how to describe it. Like voice. It's technically her, but she is just like,
it's so bad.
Fucked. I don't know how else to describe.
Gremlin is the way to describe it.
Ancient.
And so she's like yelling at the guy to go away, and she sounds crazy. So he like gets scared and he leaves.
Yeah.
But I thought that was kind of funny.
Which like, wow, what a great boyfriend.
I know, right? Like, because he notices that there's blood on the way to the bathroom, and he's like, oh, are you upset about your period?
Yeah, like, no, just oh my god. Real boyfriend of the month there.
But yeah, she is so
then
gone.
Yeah, so then she calls the substance company to be like, okay, I'm done. I have to stop this. And they're like, okay, here's what you do to stop it. And so then
she has to
go get it.
Yeah, right? She has to get like completely covered up. She like kind of dresses like a very old woman and totally hidden.
Still her yellow jacket though.
Yes, still her yellow jacket.
But she goes to pick up the termination kit.
And it's just like this one syringe of like a termination.
Like black liquid.
And so, but before she goes to do it, we just hear these echoes of on your own. And like she knows like if she does this, she's going to be all on her own.
Just like she is right now.
There is no Sue anymore. And then this was the part that like just broke my heart. So she goes and she's gonna stab Sue. And then she stops because she says, I need you because I hate myself.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Oh. That's it. See, and I think like they could have used a little more of like emotional connection. I'm glad they did here.
Yeah.
Because I was like, we need that. We need to see why she's doing what she's doing. Like,
well, and then, and then she says, like, you're the only lovable part of me.
Yes.
So, like, you know that Elizabeth, her whole identity has always and only been what I am to others.
Yeah.
Like, how beautiful and worthy am I in the eyes of other people?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But she does. She gets it. She has to do it into her heart.
Yeah. She starts the termination.
But she stops it when really it's less than, it's like a fourth, maybe.
Yeah. Like there's a little left.
It was just a little bit left. She stops.
And that's why she stops. Yeah.
This kind of like fucks the whole system up because now they're both awake. And this is, they've never both been awake at the same time.
Yeah.
Like stare at each other.
Yes. And okay, so to me, I actually kind of liked the movie up to this point. To me, this is when the movie devolved.
I agree.
Yeah. Because there's this epic fight scene, but it's so cheesy.
It's so, because here's the other thing. Again, it's such an imbalance. There's like this ridiculous amount, and later in the movie, a ridiculous amount of fake blood, yet you couldn't have any of their wounds be bloody. To me, that just like annoyed me.
Yeah.
Like, she would be kicking her and all this blood was like coming off of her.
Splashing.
And I'm like, I don't.
Yeah.
What? Why? What are you doing?
Yeah.
I did like, okay, so they have this epic fight back and forth, slamming into the table, whatever. But then this scene got me where Sue is slamming Elizabeth's head into the mirror, which of course it's a mirror. To me, that was very poetic.
Of course.
It has to be.
Slamming into the mirror over and over and over again. And I was like, oh my God, like she's dead at this point.
Yeah.
I'm thinking. But then she hears this voice, remember you are one.
Yeah.
But it's the night of the New Year's Eve show.
Yeah, she has a good show to get to.
At this point.
And you can tell they're doing like the dress rehearsal or like something, you know, she's getting there.
Yeah, she's in a little outfit. They're like getting ready. Yeah.
It's like Cinderella gown.
Like the blue
so
Cinderella
stupid.
gown.
Yeah.
Again, I was like, you're telling me that like a woman that is only known for being naked, you're going to put her in this like giant gown. Yeah, right.
Yeah. No, it was like,
because they have to make her look like a doll.
Yeah, but that just did not give New Year's Eve.
I know. I liked it.
But she's doing it and she's in trouble because her nose starts bleeding and she starts like malfunctioning again, you know? And then she like goes and like her teeth comes out. She spits it out into the sink.
Yeah, she's like, oh, wait, what's happening? And so she like spits out a tooth.
And she starts coughing. Yeah.
She starts to cough.
And like her fingernail.
And it's like an echoey cough.
Yes.
Like she's coughing, but she's also like hearing Elizabeth's cough.
Yeah.
I feel like.
And then she is back in the hallway. And these hallways, we should say, because at one point even the music was similar. It's a very like The Shining tribute.
Oh, yes.
The carpet's very similar, the camera angles. And at one point the music was even there.
It's very. Yeah.
So it's, you know, a very shining hallway, which is cool. But it's Harvey and the other, you know,
oh my gosh,
which guys
like the board members or something. Yeah.
And she at this point is like panicking. You can see in her face that she's panicking. And her mouth is shut. And she's just, you can see that like, she's like, what the fuck do I do? And he's like, well, smile.
Yeah. He's like, pretty girls always smile.
And so she does this closed tooth or closed mouth, like, insane smile.
Who of us as a female has not been told to smile? Like, seriously? It's so funny because we've all had that experience.
And it's so fucking gross.
Like, why do we have to smile if we're not wanting to smile? If we want to smile, let that be our thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But we've all been told that. I know that.
So weird.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I'm sure there's a lot of psychology behind that, but
well, yeah.
But she rushes back to the apartment because she's like, fuck, I gotta go get fluid. You know, I gotta get another fluid.
So this is when I said, okay, so then she tries to use what's left of the single-use activator. So this is what.
Yes.
So when Elizabeth created Sue, she used the single-use activator. That's only to be used one time.
Single use.
It's this bright neon liquid.
But when she did it, she ended up using like maybe like, I'm going to say 7/8.
Yeah. There's like a little bit left.
But there's there's like 1/8 left. And so Sue tries to use it. And she says, like, please make me a better version of myself. Please make, because at this point, her teeth are all gone. Her nails have been, she like pulls off her nails. She's not doing well.
I mean, she's falling apart. Yeah.
And then the same thing that happened to Elizabeth happens to Sue. But instead of what is coming out of her is this like beautiful.
And you can tell it's messed up because in her eyes, instead of getting 2, she has like 8.
Yeah,
like a fly.
Yeah.
She's getting all these eyes, and it's this deformed blob.
Now, my question is, Elizabeth, her body's still back in the room, right? Okay, because that's okay. All right.
Yeah.
Because on the back of the monster is Elizabeth's old face.
Like Elizabeth's old face. And it's like if Picasso drew a whole body.
You know what it is? No, here's what it is. That please tell Matthew after.
Okay.
What it is in Spy Kids, there is this
I love
thing
It always
that can
comes back to
happen.
Spy
I
Kids.
love Spy
There's
Kids
this thing
so
that can happen
much.
where the evil guy has this Play-Doh, right? This
Yes.
putty, and he makes these crazy creatures and he makes them come to life.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It is exactly like that.
Oh my God.
In fact, hang on, I gotta look this shit up because it really, you guys, like.
Oh my God, have you ever seen those like it's like I don't know, like not like memes, but like whatever, like the posts where it's like, you know, like it's like spoilers but not spoilers for a movie, or it's like images that are spoilers but aren't, you know? We'll just need to make one of those for the substance.
Yeah, like
It's
see,
like one
Spy
of the
Kids?
blob creatures.
he makes like that
Yes.
one.
Oh,
That's just one of the many, but
yes.
see, it's exactly like that.
Yes. I mean, a little different, but similar.
More deformed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
And then this is where I'm like, I don't even know that I fully watched the end of the movie. Like, because I was just like,
Yeah. I don't like
I think I was using my phone at this point. Like, I don't even know what happens. Because I was like, it's so fucking stupid.
This thing's name is Monstro Elisu.
Yeah. Because we get these like not like title card kind of
But
things.
yeah, title cards of their. Let me have a
So-
little more wine. Hang on.
So this thing puts on Sue's blue dress, blue Cinderella dress, and then it takes, you know, the big poster we had seen of Elizabeth. It like cuts the face out of Elizabeth's face, and it like puts it almost like a Halloween mask.
It's like a printed paper stuck to
a
its
printed
face.
paper stuck to its face. Because this thing has no face. Like, and I did.
No.
I mean, this part was like kind of eye roll, but like there's just like random like boobies popping out. Like, like parts of the dress.
Oh,
like,
because the quote from earlier about how like her.
Yes.
Like if only her boobs were
right
part of her, like where her nose is or something.
Which is definitely something that happened. Like there's just like boobs like randomly sticking out everywhere. But then it looks around, the Monstro Elisu looks around for an earring, because it's like it's putting on earrings, but like it has to like look around it to find like what.
You know what? That was when I was done. Was the earring.
That
I was
part
like,
was
no,
stupid.
I'm done. We're done here.
Elisu Monstro that's when it devolved.
Yeah,
for sure, for sure. And it like goes to curl one strand. It has like
I could not with the fucking curler.
And it just like burns
strand of hair, and it goes to curl. I was like, get out of here! You're being ridiculous. Yeah, you're a deformed monster. Don't curl your one hair.
Yeah, it gets more ridiculous. Don't worry.
Well, then it goes back to the studio, and it's in the hallway, and like a fanfare breaks out.
Well, because at first it seems like no one notices that this is not Sue. Like everyone is like, "Yay, you're wonderful, you're here." And I'm like, "This is a monster in a dress with
that was
Elizabeth's."
I was trying to be like, "What's happening?"
Yeah,
like
she
lipstick put on. Like,
do they think it's Elizabeth? Do they think it's Sue?
I don't know. That part didn't make any sense to me.
No,
but I think it was all a delusion.
I think so. I think that was her. The monster.
I think this entire
monster or whatever is
Monstro Elisu.
Monstro Elisu. I think that was just them imagining.
And so then we get the music from Space Odyssey, which felt out of place to me.
Yeah.
I was not quite sure what was happening with that. And so we get Elisu walking out onto this big stage for the New Year's Eve thing.
Yeah. And they have like all these dancers, which like
all these dancers
again, like who is this made for? It's like all these women with like just topless. They're completely topless, which is like, isn't this supposed to be like a network? Like this supposed to be like a net, like NBC's like Peacock's New Year,
but boobs.
Like celebration. So it's like that made no sense. Like I was like, what? Like the celebration made no sense. And they're also in like, I feel like my high school auditorium was that size.
Yes.
Like it didn't feel like a set. It wasn't like, oh, like SNL where like,
it was just a school auditorium.
No, it did feel like
it was like an auditorium.
Sorry, my kitten is licking my heel right now. Come here, baby boy. I think that means he wants to come up.
Oh.
So yeah,
but
they're
I can't even talk. I'm too mad. You guys talk.
know.
Okay, so then she starts to talk. Elisu starts to talk, and she's like, I am so happy. Thank you for, coming out and meeting with me. But then in her, like, I guess it's a head, top of her
Yeah.
head, like this hole starts to open up and this like nipple starts to emerge and like this, again, another boob, like a
A
dangly
boob.
boob on a cord starts to fall. It's very stupid. That part's
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah. She has a boob like fall out of her side.
So then the audience screams and they shout, "Freak monster!" And then some dude decides, like, you know what, I'm taking action, and he chops Elisu in half.
Yeah.
And then there's this stream of blood that is like
And
an
it
endless,
feels like a 45-minute scene that breaks out here.
yes,
And
an endless supply of like fire hose level blood.
I didn't even watch at
Yeah.
this point. Like
I did get some Carrie vibes, like kind of,
It was
like just.
Have you guys ever seen the Addams Family movie?
I don't
You
know.
need to. I love the Addams Family and the Addams Family Values. Honestly, like they're some of my favorite movies. Um, there's this scene in the first one, and maybe I can pull up a screenshot so I can show it to you guys, where they're doing like a play and like the kids want help setting it up, and they help them set up this like fake blood. Hold on. This is if anyone has seen that's exactly what it reminded me of because it's just the kids.
Nice. Yes, exactly.
Like, tell me that isn't
Yes.
exactly what we watched.
Yes.
That is exactly what we watched. But yeah, because it's like they there's vibes of Carrie, there's vibes of The Shining, but it's also like high school, and none of this matched to me. None of this matched anything that had happened in the movie so far.
Exactly.
No, it felt so detached.
That's my point. Like,
and even like before the ridiculous blood spray, it's like the way that the audience reacts. It's like one person at a time. Like it felt very like old timey, kind of like a play.
I just
almost.
I would like to know like how this passed so many people, and they were like, "Yeah, this is good."
Yeah,
this was a terrible movie. I'm mad.
No, the end like completely. Like I was
very angry.
I was mad by the
I was mad at the end. See, and that's the thing. Like, I liked the movie except for once Elisu comes out.
Yeah.
But so then Elisu finally collapses into this pile of like blood and organs.
Yeah.
But I
mean, she
Jesus
leaves.
Christ, this was the worst part.
Monster Elisu does leave the
whatever the
studio
leaves,
or wherever they
leaves
are.
the theater, collapses into this pile of blood and organs. But then Elizabeth's face that's like in this like chunky,
like her pretty normal face,
but that's like emerging from like this like chunky, it's almost like, like a lion mane.
Yeah.
Like there's the lion face
but of organs.
But this is like a mane of like bloody organs.
Yeah.
And it like crawls.
Shut the fuck up.
This
was a terrible movie.
I don't think you understand the way, like, I don't think my eyes could roll further back.
It crawls away and it like slithers and it goes onto the star, the Hollywood star of Walk on the Walk of Fame of Elizabeth Sparkle, and just rests there, and it sees all this like glitter fall down from the sky. And that's it. That's the movie.
I'm checking something. Hang on. Yeah. I'm very upset. I'm very mad.
I had written down that I felt like the way that her face goo crawled was like a slug.
Yeah.
Kind of like a slug.
Kind of like a slug. It was the ending.
The ending was bad.
So bad. Like, and again, like I'm not making movies, I'm not a writer. But it's
but if you did.
I know it's hard to write endings, but like the ending was just, it felt so out of place to me. Like that, the whole gushing blood on every, like I just didn't get it.
And what was it for? Like what was the story?
Yeah.
See, because to me, I think this whole story is about this like obsession with youth and like your past and image and stuff. So I feel like when they had that epic fight, even as cheesy as it was, when Elizabeth and Sue were having that epic fight, I think it would have been way more poetic to have Sue fully just kill Elizabeth, but then also become ugly and then die.
Yeah.
Like that would have been a good ending.
Yeah. I didn't need Monstro Elisu.
Monstro Elisu was not needed.
For me, it felt like
do without that.
Let's make a movie where Min will want to look at the younger one. And then we'll tell everyone that it's about body image and aging and the horrors of Hollywood. We won't actually go into any depth or anything about that. We'll just tell you it is, and then we'll make a horrible movie, and here is the substance. That's what this is for me. I'm very mad.
No,
I'm not mad.
But it had things about it that were good, but I think in like the grand scheme, we're gonna keep saying it, but it lacked substance. Like there was no story. There was no like. It had incredible acting. Like the actors all around, I think, so good. The acting
for everything except for the ending scene, yes.
Yeah.
Well, right, but that wasn't any actors. That was all bullshit.
The actors did their job. Like the actors did well.
I will give you that.
The acting was good. Styling wise, I feel like there were shots that I was like, that is interesting. Like that's an interesting angle to do this from. There's some interesting things happening here. Like it had things about it, like little segments that I appreciated. But I think in the grand, like the movie as a whole, I was like, wait, this doesn't make any sense. And then I was also just kind of mad by the end of it, where I was like, what?
Agreed.
Did you watch the credits all the way?
No, I never do. I'm really bad.
No, I forgot.
I did.
Because I was mad.
Again, there was nothing substantial until toward the very, very end, they did do a we wish to thank. And this is exactly how it was written. All the extras in the theater that got covered in blood! Exclamation point. I thought that was kind of cute.
That was kind of cute.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I liked the movie until Elisu, and then I thought it was dumb as shit. There was parts I had issues with, but there was parts I liked.
Yeah, I feel like I had to, and okay, like there's this thing that like Matt and I reference all the time. I think it was like a tweet or something where like it's like some joke about, saying something has like Boss Baby energy.
Yes.
And it's like man who just watched Boss Baby, like it's like after you watch something, you can only relate it to that. So like I like had just started the latest season of Black Mirror.
Oh, I haven't.
Like,
me too.
I had like just started watching it. And I feel like after watching this, I was like, this feels like a really bad episode of Black Mirror.
Yes.
Like, this feels like a really drawn out kind of medium episode of Black Mirror. Like, and again, maybe that's just because I was like literally like, I just watched like 4 episodes.
Totally.
Before watching this movie.
No,
but,
it
like,
is.
Right where it's like, oh, here's this world and there's technology and oh, there's like effects for it, but like it was just 2.5 hours long. Like this.
Yeah, no, you're right. This was a
Black Mirror.
This was a
I
long
love that
Black Mirror episode.
Yep.
Right? Okay. Yeah. I'm happy you guys agree.
All right. Well, I don't know that we've ever spent so much time talking about how much we don't like a movie while we're trying just to get through the
like we probably miss things from like Brianna and I just being like, and another thing.
Another thing I hated. You guys are such haters.
No, but you know what?
I know what. You've told me.
No, you don't. If you go and look
and another thing
at all of our ratings and all of our averages, we are a very generous review podcast.
Yeah.
Give a lot of good marks.
Honestly, I think part of it is that when we all end up talking about it, we all like, I wonder if we did our ratings before we talked.
Yes,
I bet the ratings would be lower because I think we have such a good conversation and like we break down all these things where it's like, oh man, maybe that was better than I gave it credit for.
We should totally do
you know what though? I think for this movie, my rating has gone down because you guys just keep complaining the whole time.
Yeah. Terrible.
But who plugs a USB into a TV?
Right.
I mean, you are correct about
I'm
that.
a newborn baby that knows how to do general surgery. Shut up. Get out of here.
She's not a
I think the thing that
baby.
makes me mad is like, I just was thinking back because, you know, I do our Instagram. So like I get a lot of movie shit in my algorithm. Like that's all my algorithm is. I had just seen so much about this movie. And yes, the little clips were good that they posted, but like as an actual movie, I'm like,
okay, we're not into the reviews.
Have I lost my mind?
We're not into the reviews. Let's
fucking trash.
No, I'm happy you hate it too. Cause like when I finished watching it, I was like, I was mad. I was like, how dare all these people tell me to watch this?
Yes.
I didn't hate it. I didn't like it. But we're not at the review section yet.
Okay.
I know. I'm sorry. I can't help myself.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll just mute our
Too
mics.
much water martini. Let me simmer down a little. All right. So I actually will be interested because for the most part, I don't feel like we actually do a ton of like body horror movies. Yeah. Like some here and there.
I hate them.
I know, right? It's a niche for sure. But Laura, I'm going to be interested to see where you go.
Yeah, where are you taking us?
Because just remember.
Do you remember? I'm not a real doctor.
If you remember one thing.
But it's okay. Because they're not real people.
She's not a real doctor. But it's okay because they're not real people.
Good job. Yeah. Okay. So here's my psych. I do feel like we got a couple of dreams. In fact, one of the dreams we didn't even talk about, but I feel like we got a couple of dreams, but we also, I think we have some psych to talk through. Do we want to do dreams first or psych first?
Ooh.
Dreams.
Yeah, let's do dreams.
So here's the two dreams that I noticed. The first dream was Elizabeth had this dream about Sue. So she dreamed that Sue was making out with this guy, and as she was making out with this guy, he like goes to unzip her bodysuit, but then her back opens up and all of her organs fall out.
I actually did like that. I did like that scene.
That was a good scene. I can't believe we didn't even talk about it.
I know, yeah.
So the back, and this is from my trusty dream book, the back is a symbol of the will. It represents the capacity to be firm and determined and to stand up to someone. It could also represent this burden that is overwhelming you. Intestines falling out, surprisingly, was not in my book.
Wow.
So I need
maybe on the newest edition.
I couldn't even find intestines, guts, like whatever. So that falling out, that could represent this loss of inner control or loss of your emotions, like this loss of control of your fears. So I think, and it could also be that overall, Elizabeth is projecting her fears of deterioration onto Sue. Yeah. So she feels like she's projecting these fears onto Sue, but she feels this loss of control over this thing that she has created that is now kind of taking over her life and ruining her life.
Yes.
But she feels that she can't really stand up to her. She feels this loss of power related to it. So really, it makes total sense for the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
The next one that I said was a dream was the chicken wing in the butt pulled out through the belly button.
I can't wait to see what could that possibly mean? Like I'm trying to
I'm so excited.
I'm trying to take a guess.
Yeah.
At what this could be.
It's so funny because it actually fucking makes sense and I don't understand it. So if you dream of your buttocks, which again was in my trusty dream journal, that represents self-disapproval.
How?
Okay.
How, Roar?
I don't know. You're the ass, I guess.
Yeah.
Dreaming of your stomach is representing something you have to stomach, like a pain you're having
I mean, that would make sense.
that you are not handling well.
Okay. Yeah.
And then if you dream of a single chicken wing, that's representing something isn't enough. You are not satisfied.
Okay, come on.
And you are only getting a piece of what you want. You guys, I have not.
That's crazy.
So Sue is, because Sue is dreaming of this just as of herself. So she feels this self-disapproval, but also this disapproval from her mom's self, from Elizabeth, where she feels like she's only getting a part of this life that she wants. She only gets 7 days at a time. She doesn't get to just be a human. And that she feels like she's not handling this situation well. She has to stomach being tied to this like Matrix mom host that she does not respect, that she does not love. That's what that dream is about.
I mean, personally, I have dreamed of a lot of chicken wings. So like,
no, you have not.
You know,
hold on. Laura said one single chicken wing. Have you?
I'm sorry. I should clarify.
Just one.
It's mini dreams of one.
Oh
no, I'm just kidding. I've never dreamed of a chicken wing. Never.
Well,
maybe I will tonight.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So that's my interpretation of the dreams, which actually they very much make sense.
They really do.
Movie.
A little too
that is
well.
Crazy that works, honestly. I'm surprised that
I'm
works.
surprised that someone has analyzed the meaning
of a single chicken wing.
I love it.
Of a single chicken wing.
If you dream of a whole chicken carcass or a whole, like a rotisserie chicken, that's a very different meaning.
I do.
But this is just a single chicken wing she like pulls out of her belly button from her butt.
I do love a rotisserie chicken.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do, but not after I've watched a horror movie.
Yeah. That's, yeah.
So now I'm about to get on a high horse or a soapbox.
Hop on up.
Yeah, either one.
You could use a soapbox to get on your high horse.
There you go.
Love it. Love it. So let's talk about, I feel like the whole psychology behind this movie is that Elizabeth is jealous of her former self.
Yeah.
Which is a really interesting thing to think about. It's not just that you look back on fondly of being young, but like you're jealous of what you used to be.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting thing to think about as you age.
You know, I've recently restarted Schitt's Creek. And I just watched the episode where Moira is looking for her nude photos.
Yes.
And I love that quote where she's talking to Stevie and she's like, take 1,000 pictures of yourself now. Even if you think I'm too spooky. But I think that's a good illustration of being like, you look back, being like, oh, if only I had appreciated what I had when I had it. I think there's a little bit of that jealousy also, but like that it's too, she feels like it's too late. You look back at it and you're like, God, I wish I would have appreciated it when I had it.
Well, that's exactly my next point. Is why do people become jealous of their former self? So there's actually no psychological name for this phenomenon of like becoming jealous of your former self. But why do people feel this way? It's this combination of nostalgia mixed with regret.
Yeah.
Like I wish I would have been in it more when I was in it. So there is a psychological theory called the self-discrepancy theory. So this proposes that people experience negative emotions, bad vibes, when their actual self, their ideal self, and their ought self are not aligned. And this is what I think is happening with Elizabeth/Sue/Ella Sue. So an actual self, this is your current perception of yourself based on your own experiences and beliefs. So like what you think you are right now. So like just take a minute to think about what are you right now to your own self.
Okay.
But then your ideal self, that is what you want to be. That's like your hopes and aspirations. And then there's your ought self. And that is what you believe you should be based on the perceived like duties, obligations, and expectations from others, like societal expectations.
Oh, okay.
So you have these three selves. What do you think you are? What do you want to be? And then what do you think you should be based on other people? So when those are very misaligned, when there's this big discrepancy between those, that leads to really bad self-image, self-esteem, and also very poor mental health, which is what I think is happening with Elizabeth. So she currently views herself as this like old, washed up has-been. She thinks her ideal self is kind of who she used to be when she was a 20-year-old. And then her ought self is society is telling her, you are not valued unless you are this young, thin, rich, beautiful person. So those things aren't aligning. So she's like really like fucked up.
At odds, right?
Yeah.
So it's really interesting because as I was like thinking about what research to do for Spooky Sips podcast tonight, my husband and I went out to lunch. And when we went to lunch, there was this infomercial, which was like so fucking perfect. And it was so sad. It was like Jane Seymour, I think, was the person in it.
Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. I think that was her. It was for crepe eraser.
Crepe?
Yes.
Like crepe skin, like crepey skin.
Yes. For crepe eraser. And it's this miracle lotion, guys, that you put on your crinkly skin and it makes you young again. And all these famous actresses use it and it makes you wonder. And it just was so poetic that I was like thinking about what to research and that comes up. Can I show you an advertised image of what crepe eraser says?
Yes.
I can't
it
wait.
will do for you?
Not sponsored, guys.
Absolutely not, because look at this.
You would like to be.
No.
Look at this.
Sorry.
Bullshit.
I'll take my money anywhere, but
Can you see it now? Okay.
Oh my God.
This is before crepe eraser.
No,
and then this is
not.
after crepe eraser from 8 weeks. You go from being a healthy, wonderful, very valid 89-year-old woman to being a 20-year-old, and it's fine.
Yeah, no, that is not.
So sad.
All you have to do is buy this cream.
Yep, that'll do it.
The cream is
buy
not
our
going to
product.
do this.
That will
like,
do
isn't
it.
Isn't that wild?
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, crepey.
Brianna. That's good. That's good. So
that's insane. That is so clearly photoshopped. That's two different people.
I have a really quick interjection. Yvette, do you not know who Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman is?
No, she of course does not. She's way too young.
Wow.
But I'll look it up.
Ask Matthew. I bet he knows. He actually
might.
All right, moving on. From my youth. Another
thing that can lead to this issue that Elizabeth has that led her to partake in the substance is something called temporal self-comparison. And that's when you kind of evaluate your current self to your past or future version.
I do that all the time.
Oh.
Yeah. So instead of comparing yourself to other people, like you're comparing yourself to your past or future
self. Yeah.
And it can be used in good ways to kind of assess like progress or like how you're making it through life, but it also like how your progress towards your goals and things like that, where you're from, where you're going. But also if you feel like your life is getting worse and worse versus better, that temporal self-comparison can be really damaging.
Yeah.
I relate.
Yeah.
So, instead of just like appreciating where you are, you think, oh, like, here's the thing. Elizabeth is this beautiful, successful, well-known,
literally stunning.
fit, like literally stunning, fit, healthy, wonderful woman, but all she's doing is comparing herself to what she was when she was 20.
Mm-hmm.
So she will never be happy.
Yeah.
Which is like just fucked up, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I always think of like the actress behind the character because I mean, she is one of the biggest actresses of any of our times.
I want to go watch
Everyone
Ghost.
knows who she is. Like,
yes.
you know what I'm saying? Like, her legacy is long, but I always am like, I wonder if you have to work through that. Because even the most confident person, like you're playing this role that might hit really close to home.
Yeah.
And I always think of like the behind the scenes for the actual like actress. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because I think Demi Moore was originally not the first person that the director had thought of to do this role. Like, I don't think she was like what she had in mind, but they met, and I haven't read it, but Demi Moore gave her a copy of her book. I think it's like a memoir, like it's just like of her life. So she goes through her life through Hollywood and how that's been as someone who's, 60 now. And I think it was after doing that where she knew that they connected. Because the director, I think, was also turning 40 or 50. Like I forget if it was like exactly like Elizabeth's character where she was turning 50 or turning 40. Like it was, also aging out in
there was comparison there
of Hollywood, so like they like really related with it, and that's when she knew that she got the character. Like it was like she knew she would be able to like understand the character and like add to it, like it was like she could take this on. Yeah.
I mean, I may not love the movie, and by that I mean I may not even like it, but I do love how she played the role. Like phenomenal. Yeah. Both of the actresses, like
I mean, even Margaret Qualley, like she talked about, it's like she had it difficult in like a different way, right? Where like she had to play perfection. Like she had to play where like that the ideal form, right? Which like I think was hard for her in her own way. Like I didn't know much about her, but apparently like she had done a lot of like ballet. Like she had wanted to be like a ballerina and like went away from that because of how much goes into it. So like she was saying preparing for this was also really weird. So like she had to like get herself in the Sue character, which she like freaked her husband out because she was just walking around like Sue, Like,
oh my gosh. I love that.
That would be wild.
I love that.
Yeah. So I think
they were phenomenal.
They both had challenges, but they both did so well.
And even Dennis Quaid did his part well. I only ever think of him as the dad from The Parent Trap. So like for me, I'm like, dude, stop it.
Stop it.
This is who you are. Go back to your winery.
Yeah.
Yes. No, totally. So yeah, I feel like a big part of what we see Elizabeth going through is this mourning of kind of this loss of identity. So with her whole identity, I think because of societal pressures and the industry of Hollywood, her whole identity is this youthful image. And so there's no way she can maintain that because people age. It's normal.
Right.
And
literally
so
can't stop it.
so if that's all you're focused on and that's your whole identity and then that's gone, it's like you're almost like you die. It's like a part of you dies, but then you're still this thing that's like watching the remnants of your past of your life from the ideal self that you used to be that you are not.
Yeah.
And there is so much value in being a person that is older, but if that's your whole identity is only ever knowing that you're valued because you're beautiful and young, then it's like that's dead. And now what do I do? Like what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I wish we would have gotten out in the movie more. I wish we could have seen.
I think if they would have
Elizabeth going through that, just
more,
like a little bit more of that. Again,
I agree.
I get sometimes you can't give us backstories for who the characters are.
But for a 2.5-hour movie,
but like,
you could have.
That doesn't mean you can't develop the character.
They could have
give us the story now.
Right. They could have cut out Monstro Ella Sue and put in a backstory, and it would have been a better movie.
Some of their like scenes in the bathroom were repetitive. Like I feel like I'd
No,
see
but they were naked, so they were needed.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit of some science. And some real world examples of extreme cases of people trying to stay young.
Oh God. Okay.
So I did mention to a friend of mine what we were going to do, the movie we were going to do for this episode. And he mentioned, he was like, isn't there some guy that
Is this the biohacker guy?
I think so.
Okay.
Like this guy that is this billionaire who tech guy who injects his own son's plasma.
Yes. Yes. This is the biohacker guy.
Yes.
I'm outing myself here. If you watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, there's an episode where they have dinner with him.
I've seen that one.
Yes.
Yes, I do keep up with them.
If you're keeping up.
I do not
sure do.
Oh my God.
I will say that with pride.
Yeah, he is wow. There's something wrong there.
Yeah, okay, so his name is Brian Johnson, and he spends over $2 million a year on anti-aging regimen that he calls Blueprint.
Yeah, he also doesn't go outside. And he's fully convinced he's going to live forever.
Free radicals. Okay, so his whole goal of his regimen is that he is going to reverse aging and that he will get the body of an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
And I don't remember how old this guy is, but obviously not 18.
Yeah.
So he does all of these injections and hormone things and whatever, but the most wild to me is that he doesn't do it anymore. Allegedly. But he does plasma transfusions with his teenage son.
Yeah.
So that the plasma of the teenager goes into him so that he will then become a teenager.
Mm-hmm. No, it's so weird. That is your son.
Yeah.
Also, what is that doing to your son?
How's that working out for him?
So that's the thing. Giving plasma is not as easy or riskless as donating blood, and that's why it's not as common.
They pay you for it, right? You can get paid.
I did it in college when I was broke as shit.
That's the college student. I'm out of options here.
Yes, I got $35 and then went to Goodwill and bought a coffee table.
Nice.
But so it's not without risk, and it really is a very needed thing for medical procedures. But in this situation, it's a lot of risk with no reward.
Yeah. I know it's wild. No, his routine is I'm all of my information is coming from the episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Yes, thank you, Kim Kardashian.
But it's they're having dinner and they're making jokes where it's it's not about living forever. It's just about extending life or whatever. And Jed no, he thinks he's gonna live forever.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the first mentally ill person to be in their orbit. So
right. He's just rich enough to do all these and get enough doctors.
I try not to be such a bleeding heart, but I'm $2 million a year. Do you know what that could do for people in need?
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah. He also he doesn't drink. He does all he eats all this weird where it's that's not life, man.
Okay, and you know what? Here's the thing.
It's about quality, not quantity, dude.
I will say, I'm a skincare girl. I like my products and my skincare. I have them. I buy into it. But the honest to God truth, and I always keep this in the back of my mind, if I weren't doing any of them, I think I'd look the same.
You would look the same.
Yeah.
I really do.
Literally,
and I feel you need to
if just wear sunblock.
You need to keep a grip on reality. And when you don't, this is what happens.
Yeah, you're taking your children's
plasma.
Right?
And the thing I think is so wild is who is the doctor that's doing that for him? Because did nobody intervene?
Yeah.
Right.
Did no doctor be oh, actually, that's not how this works.
No, you can pay anyone to do whatever you want, and it's fine.
Yeah.
So, okay, so then this gets me and Jane into talking about like what is aging? Like can we live forever?
No.
Probably not.
No.
Well, but maybe though. So we're not there yet. But I don't know. We're getting philosophical here. So aging, they theorize that a lot of it is related to telomeres. You guys know about that?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so when your cells duplicate, which is what you have to do to stay alive, right? Like you have your cells and then they kind of like have to regenerate, duplicate, and then that becomes you. So like the cells I have now are not the same cells I had 7 years ago. But every time they do that, there's these telomeres, and that's like the thing at like the end of your DNA strand. It kind of opens up, you duplicate, and then it closes back up. But every time you do that, it like wears down just a little bit. So as you age, those telomeres become shorter and shorter and shorter and then are like kind of gone. And so that's what they theorize is what aging is. That's why, yeah, things don't function as much anymore. You look
Why we
older,
die,
your skin's,
right.
yeah. So that's kind of what aging is. So if we kind of can figure out what aging is, and again, this is a theory, maybe there's more to it. Yeah. But if we could then regenerate those telomeres or like stop those telomeres from breaking down, could we stop aging? Maybe
at least slow it down.
Maybe.
I do believe in the Illuminati, hands down.
Okay, yeah.
I think that it's Beyonce that's behind all of it, but there's a lot of theories there. But I do wonder, do you think that there is like patient X and there's just someone out there that like is actually 225 years old right now?
I mean,
and
like
they're just keeping it like they're
definitely have
it.
like Walt Disney like cryogenically frozen somewhere.
Yes, exactly.
You know?
So that's
like,
another thing.
Definitely. Yeah.
Exactly. So maybe it's already happened. Maybe it actually is Beyonce.
I have to say, I don't really know what I don't know Illuminati. I never read.
What?
I'm sorry.
Wow. How does it feel to be like
don't know what the Illuminati is?
I mean, I know the word. I know there's Dan Brown's book. I don't.
Who?
Isn't it Dan Brown?
Da Vinci Code?
Yeah. Isn't that Illuminati? Isn't that Illuminati?
Just like go on Wikipedia.
Is it not?
Be on there.
Is that not Illuminati? Brianna, you have to cut that out. Wait, is that not Illuminati?
Well, yeah, kind of.
I mean, yeah, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
I'm too big martinis in, girls.
No, you're too pretty.
Is that not Illuminati?
It is. Yes, that's what the Illuminati is. Tom Hanks and the Da Vinci Code.
I'm not saying Tom Hanks. I'm talking about the book. Isn't that what Illuminati is from?
It is.
Yeah. You're such a bitch.
I'm just supporting you.
You are laughing at me.
I am supporting you.
Okay, moving on.
So anyways, Tom Hanks,
so then
heard this.
Then there's this woman called Elizabeth Bathory who bathed in the blood of young women to regain her youth.
Maybe that's why they called her Elizabeth.
Where did she get the blood?
Well, that's the thing. So some of this might be a little bit like urban legend type deal.
Like an American Horror Story.
American Horror Story and stuff. But allegedly, there's this woman who bathed in the blood of younger people to try to become younger. So did she really do it? Is it kind of urban legend? It's kind of...
I bet somebody's tried it, honestly. Like
100%. Well, there's those like blood facials.
Yes.
Well, that's my next thing.
Okay.
Again, the Kardashians.
Yes,
also the
salmon
Kardashians. Sperm is apparently really effective. I've heard of that one as well.
For
under your eyes. Salmon sperm under your eyes.
Okay. So yeah, then not specific people, but just in general, things like cryogenically freezing yourself. Like
I hope that works. I would be excited by that.
Right?
I'm like, I hope that works for you. You're a terrible person, but I hope
don't know.
It works for you.
I'll stick like something like in the freezer for a couple of years, and it's not the same when you take it out. It's just
true.
not the same. There's freezer burn.
Freezer burn will get you in the end.
But yeah, then things like vampire facials, hormone therapy, and just these extreme forms of plastic surgery. Like there's one person who's had like 70 some plastic surgeries to try to become the perfect Barbie, like including removing ribs. And it's just people do.
I just feel like they need a lot of therapy. I feel like at some point one of the doctors should be like, maybe therapy first.
Oh, because it's like it's an addiction.
Like it is an addiction.
Like it's
even a show. Like I'm addicted to plastics. I feel like that's a show.
No, it's definitely a show that I've watched for sure.
But it's a very real psychological thing that I think a lot of people, especially women, can really understand as you get older. I even myself will just be vulnerable for a minute. Like as I get older, I do feel more and more invisible. Like I feel like people see me less, people treat me differently, and it's like I'm the same person, but because I'm 40 instead of 20,
right,
I'm treated differently. So I do feel this kind of longing to be like what I used to be.
Oh yeah.
So to be totally honest, I get it.
And I genuinely like, and I'm only talking about my experience with women. I know that like plenty of men suffer, but just in my experience, like I don't know that I know a woman that hasn't struggled in some way with her image.
Oh yeah.
More than others, but like I genuinely am like, do I know anyone that hasn't struggled with like aging and self-image and like all of that?
No, it really feels inescapable.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is actually really interesting because like I often am like, I wonder about people like way long ago, like ancient days. It would probably still was an issue. I do think that there is something psychologically about having to stare at our face all the time.
Yes.
Like I read this article recently where it was like, we were not meant to look at ourselves like this.
No, we weren't.
The only times we saw ourselves was in like the reflection of water.
Yeah.
Like we genuinely were not supposed to be like staring at ourselves all the time.
Yeah.
And I think it just is like a mind fork, you know?
And we are, and it messes with us. So the psychology of this is very real. I get the idea. I think that's why I liked the movie, because I get
because there's potential there.
The concept behind it.
No, it has potential. The idea is there. It's just the execution.
The execution missed a little. Got a little short. And by that I mean they weren't even in the court.
Yeah.
When they were shooting the ball.
So anyway, that's my psych.
Love it.
Yeah.
It's really, honestly, I feel like you could dedicate an entire episode to just talking about that because, like, it's everywhere all the time.
I'm done with my second martini.
Nice.
Time for the third.
Do you already have it ready? Oh, I know.
You like, go call him. Go get it.
You like reached off screen. So
I thought you were getting it.
Pull up another one.
Maybe I should. I could.
Wait, you should go do it. We need another Drug Lara episode. Those are my favorite.
Those are everybody's favorite.
We're not there yet. We have time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh, wild.
Okay, I feel like we talked about a lot of fun facts while we were going through, and also we have been on here for a long time. This is going to be a long episode.
This is going to be a long episode. Jade's like, he was already like, this is a long one. And I was like, Jade, we haven't even gotten to the psych yet.
Haven't even started.
I do remember seeing that, like, for Sue's character, it took her so much at the end to get into that because she was the one that was in the suit.
Yeah, Margaret Qualley was in Monsterella suit.
And I heard that it was just like really intense.
I wondered who was in the suit.
I think it took like 5-6 hours or something.
I will say I appreciate that they did like physical effects.
Yes.
You know, it did make me think of like, I don't know if you guys remember hearing about The Grinch that Jim Carrey was in.
Oh yeah.
He like had to go through actual training of like torture training because like it took 6 hours every day. But it made me think of this because I remember she was saying that like it was really hard and it actually physically was difficult. Like it was heavy and it weighed on her and like all the No,
I mean, just imagine. I also love that they did so much practice. And I think the director, like, she way prefers practical stuff. And it was kind of interesting the way they shot it is like they had scenes that had the actors in them, right? That they would shoot. And then separately, they had something that they called the lab, which is where they shot all of like the up close stuff. So like that's where we saw like the martini getting stabbed and even like injecting the substance. Like that's actually the director's arm. Like she is the one doing
oh
the
my
little
gosh.
injection shot.
She's the drug user. Cut that out.
I almost wonder if like they did that as a mark to be like inject here.
I mean, it really looked
like
intentional
a
when I
scar or
saw it, at
something.
least.
Okay, yeah.
And like, I just have to get a lot of IVs, so like, I have a couple of them, so like, it felt.
Yeah, or they just got a lot of.
I'm
IVs
also a
in
hard
LA.
drug user.
Sure, I get IVs.
I wish I'm scared of them. I'm scared of drugs. I actually am. Dare worked for me, so
yeah,
yeah.
But I just thought that was kind of cool that they did like a whole separate lab to do all of these like close-up scenes.
This is what happens when we haven't met for too long. Wait.
Hello?
Yes.
This is what happens when we haven't met for a long time.
Yeah.
Is that we just have 3-hour episodes.
I know. I feel like we had a lot of thoughts on this movie.
No, I did I even have more, but I'm like keeping it contained.
Yeah.
It's interesting because actually the cast is pretty small.
It is.
Like,
no, it's pretty.
It really centers
small.
around the two, and then I know there's a few, others, but it's a pretty small cast.
Oh yeah,
honestly,
yeah. So I think they were able to shoot a lot, like just without any actors.
Right.
The phone number for the substance has appeared in other movies, such as, and I haven't seen this yet, American Beauty. I guess that's the phone number that appears.
American Beauty is such a good movie.
Yeah, see, I haven't watched, and I feel like, again, even though I haven't watched it, I've seen the movie poster, and I feel like there's that scene where like Sue like lays in the bed, and I feel like that reminded me of American Beauty.
Oh, it is.
Too.
You're right. When she's in the bed.
Yes.
Like with the flowers.
No, it's a good movie. It's just like an emotionally heavy movie.
Yeah. So apparently there were other people that feel like Brianna and I, because Universal Pictures was originally going to distribute the movie, but after they saw it, they were worried about certain things. And then I saw an interview with the director that said that they wanted her to change parts of the movie. I think part of it was the ending.
The ending was stupid.
They asked her to make like to reshoot and like recut and do all these things, but she had and like it's your work if you want us to. She had her deal was like she has creative control,
right?
So she did not want to change it, and so ultimately, Mubi.
I saw that and I looked it up and I was like, what?
Yeah, so Mubi ended up taking it over and released it. I mean, it ended up being a great deal for them because it's Mubi's highest grossing film.
If it were not for social media, like would this movie have done as well? Because I honestly feel like it's only the few clips that they pulled that became like everywhere.
Yeah.
I have another martini.
Oh, that's a full martini.
That is full.
That's a bath.
It's also... I was going to say it's really green, so maybe there's a lot of olive, but though it's a strong boy.
Oh, okay.
No, but I just like, I genuinely am like, why did this movie do so well?
Yeah.
Because Demi Moore was naked.
Like, I'm pretty sure the Cannes like film festival, I had like an 11-minute standing ovation.
It's not good.
But there are parts of it that are really good.
No, there are. Anyway, the movie was filmed in France, not LA.
Then watch a porn, but like, come on.
No, but this is like artistic naked bodies.
They make those too.
Yeah, movie was filmed in France. The view of LA is just a photograph, like a little backdrop that they did for the apartment. The director's French.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Maybe that's why.
I was gonna say that doesn't make sense. Like,
it was definitely like a Hollywood movie. Like it's supposed to be like American Hollywood movie,
right?
But yeah, shot in France. The birth sequence took them 15 days to film.
It was, I will say, actually, it wasn't my cup of tea because there wasn't enough blood, but like, it was good. Like, it was
Yeah. Just with all the prosthetics and all these. Yeah. It took them like 15 days to get it right.
I just think about that we just did Donnie Darko, where they talked about the entire movie of Donnie Darko was 28 days.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then one sequence of this movie was 15 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, that is wild. There were a lot of camera angles, like all through. I did appreciate that like there were a lot of different styles used.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then my last fun fact is that for that final scene for the New Year's Eve show, they use 36,000 gallons of blood, which again, maybe they could have used some in the other scene.
And so much blood. Not one monster is not going to have that much blood.
That made no sense.
Well, and
I'm sorry.
Here's the thing. Like, I feel like there are movies that are still horror, but where they do that comically, like it's intentionally meant to be like campy.
It felt comical, but
like comic,
but it didn't
not
belong in the
intentional.
movie.
Yeah,
like it didn't belong to the rest of the movie.
I agree.
And yeah, again, where the rest fell so short of its, graphic moments. Terrible.
Yeah. Anyway. That's the end of my fun facts.
Guys.
Okay, we got to get into the ratings now.
I mean, I feel like I've said my piece.
I feel like I know what you guys are going to say.
No, because here's something that we've been doing is like we are trying to keep track of our other movies and our ratings. So I was like looking at other movies that we've rated really poorly. Our worst rated movie is Twilight, which is fair. And
what did I give it? What did I give it? Do you remember?
Yes, I can tell you right now. You gave it. Hang on. Oh no, wait, that's the other one. You gave it a 2, while Yvette and I gave it a 0.25.
Yeah, that's fair.
A fourth of a point.
That sounds.
You gave it a 2.
I gave Twilight a 2. Then I'm going to have to go lower for this movie. Shit.
Lower than Twilight?
But this is lower than Twilight.
Pure was also really low because Pure was a terrible movie. I would rather watch Pure than this. Hands down. Hands down. So
I'd rather watch Twilight.
Let's see. What did we all give Pure? This might be important, you guys.
No, it's like, you're so right.
We gave Pure I gave it a 1. Yvette gave it a 1. Laura gave it a 0.5. Okay, so
I did like this more than Pure.
Here on Spooky Sips, we do not give stars, we give sips. And I was actually looking forward to this movie. Like, I hadn't seen it yet. I was like, okay, here we go. Very unenjoyable. I actually have never seen a movie I hated so much in my entire life. So I'm giving it.
Not that bad.
It is. But actually, I will give it credit where credit is due. I give it a 1. I'm a 1.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I didn't like it, but I don't think it was that. I'm not gonna watch it again, if I'm being honest.
And I won't recommend it.
Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna watch it again.
I'd recommend it if you want to see bodies.
But I feel like there was like enough there to bring it slightly higher. Just be like the acting being really good. Some of the like shots were kind of interesting. Like, there was enough, I think, to bring it to a 2 for me. See, but honestly, I'd rather watch Twilight again. I don't know.
I thought we were going to sandwich this like a 1-2-1. But no, I agree. I think, although it's not the same as Twilight, because Twilight,
it's okay,
and
it's
all the time.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: we were actually talking to Laura's husband about this. The hard thing is that we only give it out of 5. So like, there's a spectrum there.
There is a spectrum.
Yeah, and that's why we give fractions.
Right. So don't worry. Just give it what you give. Don't worry about the others.
But I'm going to give it what I was going to give it going into it, because I loved some of the acting. I liked a lot of the visuals of this movie, the way that it was shot, the cinematography, the amazing appreciation of the female form. So
as long as it's young.
No, Demi Moore's
we did see Demi
body
Moore.
was like,
that's true. We did
insane.
You're right. We did.
So,
we did.
So I'm gonna give it a 2.
Okay.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
You know,
I wouldn't watch it again. I probably wouldn't watch it again, but
I don't think I'll be watching it again.
No,
And I like the
know
message it was trying to get across, but I feel like I got more out of the message because of me, not because of the movie, because of me.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I think in some cases it kind of fell for like the same thing it was trying to up against. Like it, yeah.
Yes, I agree.
So there we go.
All right. Well, we decided to do you a little bit prouder, and we're going to do body horror a little bit better next time. We are going to watch 28 Days. Is it 28 Days Later? Is that the title? Okay, we're going to do 28 Days Later.
You guys, I've heard the title and I've heard of the movie, but I know nothing about what we're about to watch.
We don't do a ton of movies like this, so like it's a good one to mix in, I think.
I'm so excited.
I think it's going to be good. Yep. So if you haven't seen it, get watching, get sipping. And also, if you're listening to this and you don't follow us on our socials, go look for us under Spooky Sips Podcast. We're on all of them. Make sure to follow and like us. And we'll see you next time on Spooky Sips.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Yote.
Thank you for listening to Spooky Sips. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you're listening. To stay up to date on all the spooky things we're up to, follow us on Facebook and Instagram at SpookySips_podcast. And if you want to help support the podcast, consider buying us a coffee, or really a cocktail. We are completely independent, so every little bit goes a long way to keeping our podcast running and improving. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.